Hi friends. Oh, that was weak. Hi friends. Hello friends. Hi friends. Hi friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo. This is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we have an urgent urgent messages from your guides. I have been working on other readings and they were like, that's cute, but we have a message that we need to get through. And I was like, heard. Okay, that's what we're gonna do today. So, gonna be pretty straightforward. We're actually gonna go back to OG Xoxo, and we are gonna start by looking at their main message to you, which will be comprised of tarot and oracle. I will have your oracles already shuffled, and I will shuffle your tarot on camera, and that will be the main message. And obviously, if the messages are things that you need to hear, that bring you peace, that bring you clarity, then they are for you. But if they bring you confusion or uncertainty or any feelings of doubt or fear, the message is not for you. After that, we are going to get some channeled messages from your guides and just go deeper into the message they're already bringing you, what they want you to know. And we will finish off by getting some final guidance and looking at signs from your guides, signs of your guides using charms. So I know you're like, did Picasso make this? No, believe it or not, it was actually me. I know it's perfect and very good. Yeah, I'm clearly an excellent artist. But we have 3 different cards for you to choose from today, as well as 3 tiny crystals if crystals help you choose. So starting with group number 1, we have this community card and this Larimar butterfly. And then for group number 2, we have this change card, and I believe this is a Jasper. It kind of looks like peach moonstone, but there's nothing reflective in it that would indicate it's moonstone, at least that I've seen. So I'm guessing it is a type of Jasper. And then for group number 3, we have this inner peace card and this agate daisy. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. You can watch this whole dang video if you want to. You don't have to limit yourself to one reading if you feel drawn to more than one. Trust your gut. You know what's best for you. And if you are... No, what I was going to say is that you don't have to overthink it. If the messages resonate, they're meant for you. So with that being said, it is intro squad time. And intro squad, I want to know, what is something new that you've been implementing in your life, or what is something new you are planning on implementing in your life that you're really proud of, that maybe you want recognition for, or maybe looking for encouragement for? One thing that I will say that I'm really proud of, a new thing that I have been doing, is I have just been thinking less and doing more. And what I mean by that is like recognizing my patterns and recognizing when I get stuck in rumination and just doing things anyway. And another thing that I've been doing is not letting how I feel stop me from doing a thing. I feel like a lot of times I don't get things done because I'm like, I'm exhausted, or I feel like crap, or I'm stuck in my head, and now I'm just kind of being like, well, do it anyway. And when you're done or can't possibly do anymore, then you can stop, and at least you'll know you did your best. So I'm kind of proud of that. I'm also proud of other new things that you guys will see at some point, but not right now. So definitely let me know that. But with that being said, I want to go ahead and make a wish on this cleanse candle. And you can feel free to wish anything, but this candle, as well as other candles, can be gotten for 10% off on Angelic Magic 888 site using code Xoxo10 if you would like to. But I felt really called to use this cleanse candle today. If there is anything you want to leave in the past, if there is anything that you want to get rid of, if there is anything that you want to be renewed or cleansed, feel free to set that intention with this candle. I know for me, I want to cleanse the fear of being seen. And I know that sounds silly because I'm literally a YouTuber, but like, yeah, it's made the being perceived worse. The fear, well, yeah. But that's not going to stop me. It's only going to make me stronger. And that's the thing that I hope that a lot of you take into your own lives, where you just recognize that you have fears or there are painful or uncomfortable experiences, and facing them and recognizing that you can do it anyway. Obviously, as long as you're not like putting yourself in genuine danger. And there's power in that, there's strength in that, and there's courage in that. And I definitely want to set an intention for all of us that we find our courage and find the strength to not let the forces that disempower us win. So if you want to pause the video and put some wishes and intentions into this candle, feel free, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. May yours, mine, and all of our wishes come true, and may you be cleansed of that which no longer serves you. And in this moment, you are new. And I'm excited to read for you. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Decide which pile you feel most drawn to. I know I already said that, but I'm saying it again. And once you have picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Larimar butterfly and this community card, these are going to be the urgent messages that your guides have for you. So first of all, full breakdown of the reading in the intro, but wow, you have a lot of guides around you, and they all love you so much, which, like, of course they should. But you don't understand like how loved and supported you truly are. For a lot of you, I feel like you may be feeling a bit disconnected from yourself or from community in general. And if that is the case, then you're really being encouraged to put yourself out there more, or to pray or manifest, or whatever universal communication system works for you, to find the communities that are meant for you, because they're out there and you do belong. There is no such thing as a world where there's nobody that'll ever understand you. If anything, I think the most meaningful communities you'll find are full of people, and I actually heard beings. So I think some of your communities could center around like other beings, like plants and animals or spirits. You could find a sense of community with people that have common interests around that. But in general, I feel like the communities of people that you are going to find home in are the ones that actually really understand, you know, things that you've gone through, even if the semantics are different. Not only that, but for those of you that are already in communities that you're grateful to be a part of, or if you have communities that you lead, you're really being asked to not underestimate your value there. It's really easy. I kind of am feeling like the sensation of overthinking after interacting with people, where you're like, oh, should I have said that? Or maybe I looked really dumb when I did that. And it's like, no, you didn't. Anyone that is judging you within these communities, first of all, if they bring it to your attention, it's not meant to make you hide or feel shameful. If anything, it's an opportunity to recognize that that person within that community has something that they need to work on. And the perception, and anyone in the community, their perceptions of you are a reflection of them. And I feel like you also may forget really easily a lot of the nice things people within your community say. And I feel like a lot of people have a lot of wonderful things to say about you behind your back. I feel like if you've had people introduce you to their friends, it's because they've spoken very highly of you and want their friends to meet you too. Not only that, but I just feel like I'm hearing Gucci Mane in my head right now. You're your best friend and your own worst enemy. And I feel like a lot of times you miss out on opportunities for connection because you're like, well, they probably wouldn't want that. Or, oh, like maybe I should reach out, but I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to bother. Be annoying, be a bother, because guess what? You're not being annoying or being a bother. You're literally just a human being socializing, which is what you're designed to do. So I feel like your guides are really encouraging you and letting you know. I'm literally hearing follow the butterflies. And so if you see butterflies around you, that's definitely a sign that you're doing the right things, you're on the right track. You might even meet someone that's like wearing butterflies, or like you see butterflies somewhere when you're interacting with them. That's definitely a sign to like go for it, to open up more, unless you have some like deep feeling like I shouldn't open up at all. obviously, like, don't take a sign over your intuition, but yeah, I definitely think that there are teams of support around you and encouraging you, and I'm getting this vision of like a guide almost like shooing or brushing off a lot of the worries and fears and insecurities that you've had around receiving guidance or like being worthy of certain things. Like, one of the things that I'm hearing from your guides is that you do not need to earn or prove yourself to be worthy of connection, to be worthy of being a leader. Most leaders and people in leadership positions do not feel worthy, do not want to be there, but that is a big reason why they are there. Not only that, though, you judge yourself for things that literally are not even counted in the spirit world. Like things like, oh, well, my routine's been off, or I haven't been like happy with myself, or I'm failing in this area of life. And those are all inconsequential in the spirit world. You know, they might have legitimate consequences in the human world, but I don't even really think it's necessarily consequences. It's just like cause and effect and just where you're at. I think you're just unnecessarily hard on yourself, and that makes it hard for you to feel and sense and be aware of the support that's around you. But the biggest message that I'm getting here, and I wish I could verbally put it in italics, but you are not meant to carry your burdens alone. No human ever is. That's why we were designed to be social creatures. But I'm going to repeat it louder for the people in the back. You are not meant to carry your burdens alone. And oftentimes one of the best forms of bonding can be sharing those burdens with safe people that you trust. And if you don't have anyone in your life like that, pray for that. Pray for spirit to help lead you to them or bring you to them. And know that you have a team of support around you. And when you are feeling lonely, you can just talk out loud to them. They will hear you. You can write to them. Whatever your preferred, you can even think to them. But I think sometimes it is helpful to say out loud what you are wanting to say, just because you can also get an idea of what's going on. But essentially, your guides are saying, we are here, we love you. I'm also hearing like, we're here, we're queer. I feel like your guides are saying we're just as weird as you are, and that's totally okay. Also with the rainbow here, rainbows could be a significant sign. This is also making me think of the Barbie movie, of course, because I'm full of those. Fairytopia. The rainbow is a big part of it, and the main character is a fairy without wings, and obviously feels a sense of isolation from her community because of it. So I definitely feel like you might resonate with that movie if that's where Bibble is. I cannot stand Bibble slander. I honestly, if you slander Bibble, there's no community for you here. I love Bibble. But anyway, I definitely think there are lots of people like you who are really inspired by you or appreciate your presence more than you realize, and you miss out on seeing that because you're too busy shaming yourself for existing, having thoughts, and having needs, and that doesn't need to be there. So let's go ahead and dive more deeply into this message. So we have 333. You are being encouraged. People appreciate what you do. Keep being yourself. You are helping a lot of people. Your truth resonates with others. You are capable of influencing a lot of people. Let's keep going because I could talk for hours already. Yes, we have self-worth, self-love, self-value, self-respect. I love this little pig. Oh, he's so cute. I feel like that's you. Like, I just want to give you a little smooch on the cheek and be like, oh, your smile is so cute. We also have Curious and Dagas, Awakening and Breakthrough. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling your tarot as well. And while I'm shuffling, or during the reading, thank you to everyone who takes the time to leave me a little like, to subscribe, to comment down below, to be part of Notification Squad. All of that is super helpful, and I just appreciate your support. And when you guys like videos, it helps me know what you want to see more of, and it also helps get these messages out to people who need to hear them as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you, and thank you for loving yourself enough to not let your inner demons win, because you are not here. Like, I feel like, you know, you've had a lot of storms in your life, which, you know, who hasn't? But I feel like you underestimate how impactful those storms have been on you internally and how they've affected you. Like, I feel like you're very good at invalidating your own experiences and saying they're not that bad, or, you know, it's fine, I made it through, which is it's, I mean, it's great to, like, you know, be strong, but it's not great to invalidate and deny what might be there. I think it's great that you don't, like, let that be an excuse to not live. But also, if you have, like, that's not shameful either. Like, we all are just coping with life in our own ways. But I definitely think that you are so anticipatory of more storms that you miss the rainbows right in front of you. And I feel like this is, especially with Dagas being here, this is Spirit really saying, like, there's a lot of light and a lot of life around you already, a lot of love and a lot of support that is here already, and even more that wants to come in. You're just not seeing it because you're anticipating a storm that isn't there. So it's like you're literally trying to look for something that's invisible. And because you don't have evidence of what you're looking for, your brain creates assumptions around, like, oh, well, I just must be annoying, or, you know, things like that, if that makes sense. And that's just not fair. But for some of you, you're also like, so I have been doing this. Like, I have been, you know, building up my self-worth. And so if a lot of what I'm saying you've released, number one, I would love to hear from you, because, and I think the other people watching would love to hear from you, because they could certainly use some encouragement and some guidance from people who are already there, and what helped. And of course, what helps us is different for everyone. So if you have any tools or techniques that really worked for you, feel free to share them. And I just want to commend you, you know, for, you know, combating those things, because it's not easy. And just know that your hard work is paying off, because it is becoming more resolute. And I just heard, like, rainbow ray. I feel like there's energy healing coming to you in the form of a rainbow ray. And if you are a meditative type person, a visual type person, whenever you really just want to feel loved or connected, like, I feel like you should visualize a rainbow of love just, like, shining down on you and, like, healing you. And I feel like it could be helpful. You don't need to earn it. It's always there, and it's always available to you. Okay, let's just go a bit deeper with these. So the guides of group number 1, please. What messages do you have for group number 1? Yes, we have the Chariot. Group number 2, beautiful. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Did I just say group number 2? I meant group number 1. Group number 1, Spirit, what else does group number 1 need to know? We have the Two of Swords in reverse. That one jumped, but it did not come out. What else do you have for group number 1, please? Yes, we have the Magician. I don't know if this all the bad bitchery in this group is making me hot. And bad bitch is gender neutral, so I don't care who you are, you're a bad bitch. Okay, one more, please, Spirit. What do you have what do you have to say to group number 1? Please. We have a Tower in reverse. Yes, I knew it. Okay, so this is all but confirming everything I've already said and just going even more deeply with it. The fact that we have the Tower in reverse here is so significant, because this is a confirmation of the storms that you are fearing, the storms that you are looking for. Like, the skies are clear, babe, and that is like, and I feel like your guides are just like, oh, we just want you to enjoy, like, being connected to other people and being appreciated by others more. You are well on your way. Like, whatever goals you have right now, like, you are well on your way to succeeding in them. You are finding balance. You are creating great intentions. The fact that we have the Magician here, like, the intentions you've been setting, the changes you've been making, you know, the ways that you've shifted your mind, the work that you've been doing emotionally, all of that is creating a really solid new reality. Indecision is definitely going to be the enemy for you. Make decisions even if you don't know what the outcome will be, because there's no danger in whatever the outcome is. One thing that I'm really hearing is that whenever you make a decision or a choice and it doesn't turn out to be what you wanted, there's going to be so much valuable learning in that, and it being not what you wanted is such a minimal consequence that it's just going to help you tweak your methods and your process to get more of what you want. But there's also a message here to not underestimate how much you're able to inspire others, your words, your intentions, your care. The fact that we have the Magician here and the Chariot tells me that you have a very warm and inspiring way with words. You make people feel like they can do anything. And one of the things that I want to mention here is that you underestimate your ability to connect with others. And I feel like what is that thing that is failing is your inability to see it because you're not attuned to recognizing it. You know, I feel like compliments and flattery or just kindness towards you is something that you don't integrate too deeply. It kind of washes over you like Teflon, whereas any minute criticism or any perceived rejection sticks to you like glue. And so I definitely think that you have been shifting that already with your process, but I love the pig being here because this pig specifically talks about self-acceptance and self-love, self-worth, self-value, self-respect, not being a lack of insecurity whatsoever, but rather a recognition of insecurity and a recognition that insecurity may always exist to different degrees, but that does not make you any less worthy, any less valuable. Self-acceptance is really powerful here. And when it comes to this theme of community, if you're not already in spaces where you feel valued for who you are, where you feel like you can be yourself, where you feel empowered, or if you are already in certain groups like that, you're really being encouraged to recognize how you feel when you're around them or when you're communicating with them, because that will, oh my God. Well, let me finish this thought. That will be the sign for you that you're in the right spaces for you. You know, you shouldn't waste your time in spaces where you feel disempowered, where you feel misunderstood, where you feel like people don't care about or value your input. Like, I feel like you've been in positions where you've been the group like scapegoat, where there's a lot of examples of this in comedy series. Is like, it's kind of like a trope. Like there's one that they all gang up on, or there's one person that's kind of like the scapegoat. I'm trying to think of a specific show in general. Like there's a specific show that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember it, where the member that they usually, gang up on, they're gone. And so the group kind of unravels into chaos because now someone else has to be the scapegoat, right? You're never meant to be the scapegoat. And in communities or groups that are like that, where, you're kind of hiding or having to hold back because you're like, oh, at least I'm not the one they're all ganging up on. That's a sign of a community that you don't want to be a part of. You can be a part of diverse communities where everyone is still respectful and empowering and encouraging of one another. Not everyone has to be the exact same. And I think that you're somebody that can recognize the value in differences, but there is a message from your guidance team to not allow differences to be a source of comparison, because your differences are all what make you great. And your differences are part of what bring inspiration to the entire group. Like, I definitely think group consciousness is something that you are learning about. And I think one thing that your guides kind of want you to focus on in the future is looking at challenging you to be less in your head when you are in group settings, and instead just tune into what's happening. There might be affirmations from others that you miss, or there might be someone in the group that's maybe not doing very well and you haven't noticed and nobody else has noticed because you're all in your heads being like, oh, I hope I'm not talking too much, or I hope I'm not being annoying. And maybe you being willing to reach out to them on the side or something like that could be just really empowering and helpful. But I feel like already just you being yourself is something that is really special and really valued. And if you don't have a group where you can be like that, know that those groups are coming. And in fact, you might even create your own or be the leader of some. If you've been in a group for a while now and it's a more formal group where there are specific leadership positions, I do feel like Spirit might be encouraging you to go for it, and to whether it works out or not, I feel like it's going to be a powerful experience for you. Obviously, the numbers 333 and the number 11 are two significant numbers for you, and you know the Magician is a number 1. So know that your thoughts and your ideas are really valued in the groups that you're in. And if you are in a workplace where you have to work with groups, or if you're studying or like, you know, in school, don't be afraid to share your ideas. Don't be afraid to speak up. I feel like there could be, especially if you are in groups where there are people that kind of dominate the conversation, you're really being encouraged to put a wedge into that. The only reason they're dominating the conversation more often than not is because nobody else is taking up space in the conversation. I feel like you could have people in group spaces that are uncomfortable with silence, and so they continue talking just to fill dead air. So if you're unable to get a word in, wedge your way in there. I don't feel like those people will be offended, but even if they are, I feel like you'll be encouraged by other people. Like, oh, I really like that idea, or you might feel really inspired. And for some of you, there might be some antagonistic energy if it's like, if it is a setting where you can't avoid them, like if it's group work, community, like, or a community-based setting where, you know, someone has their own personal problems, that is an opportunity for you to recognize that their lack of self-respect, their lack of self-worth, their lack of self-love, their lack of insecure, like, or their not lack of, their inability to accept their insecurities and recognize their value is not your job or your problem. And you don't have to hide yourself in order to make them more comfortable. If anything, the universe is just telling you to keep going, and your guides just want you to know how proud they are of you. And they also want you to know whenever you are like feeling awkward in conversation or wanting to connect with someone more but unsure of what to say or do, ask them questions. Curiosity will really work for you. And I think as well, there's this message about new habits being cemented, and you might find yourself realizing that you actually like socializing, and you can actually be outgoing when you're in the right environments. Maybe you might reconnect to a younger part of yourself that forgot that it enjoyed socializing with people. It's just that you needed to be around people that made you feel safe or accepted you for who you were the same way you accepted them. I feel like if anything, if these are things that you've been craving but you haven't been there, if you've been desiring to speak up more, if you've been desiring to find those groups, if you've been desiring to just be at a place where you accept yourself enough and where you feel secure enough in yourself that you're willing to take risks and do things that you wouldn't try before, know that that is on the horizon. You are getting close, and you are setting yourself up for a solid future where disconnection and isolation are a lot less pertinent. There's going to be less times of isolation. Honestly, just because even when you want to go into isolation, you're going to have people that are wanting to check in on you, that are wanting to work, that are, you know, wanting to know about you. And you're also going to realize like, oh, wow, connection feels really good when I'm in that space. And it will also help you realize that you don't have to hide yourself when you're not feeling 100%, that you're just as valuable and you deserve to show up even in those times as well. But also for some of you, there may be messages here, you know, if you do things where you serve a community, just know that whatever you're doing is valued and is important. And, you know, there might be 1 or 2 people that are criticizing you or that have issues with it. And that's just because like they don't have anything better to do. You know, it's their own senses of disempowerment. And I would encourage you to challenge them to step up in the ways that they criticize you and say, okay, well, why don't you do this? And watch them flutter and stutter and be like, well, and be like, well, I can't do that. And it's like, okay, yeah. And then you'll realize, oh, you are literally just hot air. Like, I don't need to worry about this. And with this 333 card, I definitely feel like this period of your time is about learning and about growing and realizing that you don't have to know everything in order to lead. You don't have to prove yourself in order to be accepted and worthy. And also, not everything needs to be a struggle. Sometimes you can just serendipitously fall into new spaces, new places, meet new people, and also connecting with people doesn't have to be hard. And with the right people, it won't be hard. Even if it takes time for you to learn about one another and understand one another and get comfortable, I feel like a lot of times there's a energetic sense of ease that you sense with people that are safe. I also just think that this is you're entering a time of more stability and prosperity in general. I feel like you're going to have an abundance of support and resources and feel so much more empowered. I feel like the universe is saying, use that powerful mind of yours to focus on what you want, becoming that person that you envision in your future in the present, and recognizing that you're well on your way there. If anything, I would really encourage you to take time to reflect on where you've come from and how much you've changed, because I think that you underestimate yourself. I feel like you still see yourself as a seedling, and you've bloomed so much and you have no idea. So just know, like, I feel like there's soul family that's coming into your life if they're not here already. If there are certain people in your life that you felt like are soul family, take this as confirmation that they are. But just know, like, you're doing great, and there is no reason to overthink or get stuck in your head or feel like the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath you, because baby, there is no rug. The floor is bare and you can walk on it. You are full of so much value, and I think you're continuing to learn that. But I think something that'll be really healing, and I bet for some of you that have gone further on your self-acceptance, self-love, self-worth journey, recognize that when you're around the right people, when you're around, you know, the people that make you feel good, it's easier to love yourself. It's easier to accept yourself. And I hope that if you don't have those people in your life, you recognize that you're already bringing them in, and that they'll be here sooner than you know it. And you don't have to overthink the process of getting there. If anything, trust where your light guides you. Trust where the butterflies lead you. And butterflies are all about transformation. So just know too, like, you're growing and transforming in powerful ways. And I don't even think you realize, like, how different you are than your own self-perception. And I wish that you could take your own self-perception goggles off, because if you could see yourself objectively, you would be like, wow, why am I so hard on myself? I'm awesome. No wonder people love me. Like, no wonder, like, people want to have me around. Stop counting yourself out because you're afraid of rejection. All you're doing is stopping yourself from more love and connection that wants to reach you. And just know that anything you want to create in your life, you're not only creating it, but it's here and it's coming. And if there's anything that needs to change in order for you to make it happen, those breakthroughs are coming. Being out in the cold, being isolated, alone, and confused is not a part of your present or your future. You're never going to be out in the cold in the same way you were in the past, and you're never going to be stuck in storms alone and unprepared ever again. Any storms or any cold that comes your way, you're going to have people that will let you borrow their coats. You're going to have people that will help you build shelter. You're going to have support, and not just in the spirit world, but in the human world, that's going to remind you of your value, of, you know, of the people that care about you, and let you know that you're not meant to be alone. You're not meant to do it alone. And if anything, those times are over, long gone, and you're never going to experience storms or isolation in the same way you once did. It will never be as bad as it's been. So let's go ahead now and get some channeled messages from your guidance team. So I have also been really thinking of Charlotte's Web. There might be some significance there for you, but I just, you know, this little pig is reminding me of Wilbur. Anyway, Pile 1's spiritual team. What guidance do you have for Pile 1 at this time? What would you like Pile 1 to know? Free to fly. Yes, bitch, I told you. The past is behind you. No road takes you back. Give thanks for all you've learned. Spread your wings. And I can tell this one wants to come out. Sweat it out. Get it out of your head and into your body. Practice yoga, exercise, frees the mind. And I will say, if you're someone who gets stuck in your head a lot, like, movement is one of the best things you can do. And that's a great opportunity to find community. Find classes that do an dance or movement, or that are just like walking. If you're somebody who knows people that enjoy those activities that you want to connect with, invite them out or invite them on a walk. And even if, like, you can't get out, like, let's say it's crazy weather outside and you don't feel like doing yoga, just put your headphones in, listen to some music, and dance it out that makes you feel good. Like, even that can be really helpful and help you shift your energy. But just know that you don't have to be beholden to or stuck with whatever your brain is telling you. You can always do something differently. And I think movement could be a powerful form of healing for you and a powerful way to get the energies that you are trying to feel into your body. Because I feel like they're almost being cock blocked by your mind. I don't think that's how you're supposed to use cock block, but I'm using it. So just know that when you can't find a way through, just start moving. And I think even if you don't have a solution, the frustration and tension you might feel from not having a solution will dissipate, and there will just be acceptance and openness to resolution instead. What else? Spirit, what other guidance messages do you have for group number 1? Yes! I am safe in my arms. I care for myself like no one else. And also that behavior towards yourself will inspire the people around you to be more kind and gentle too, to themselves. Because I'm sure that there's people in your life where you're like, man, I wish you loved yourself as much as I love you, because if you did, you would be unstoppable. And I just think that it is really wonderful to recognize that, like, you've always got you. And not only that, but like, ooh, I just heard like I got you, babe, like in like the song, and then it made me think of Babe the Pig, which like I don't really watch animal movies because I'm afraid of what's going to happen to the animal and I don't want to cry. So I can't remember what happens in Babe, but that might be significant as well. Just know that you've got yourself, your guides have got you, and like they will not like surrender to the demise of your inner saboteur, okay? They have no choice but to be sabotaged themselves. And you have no choice but to surrender to the truth that life is not only going to get better, but it is going to feel lighter. And you are going to recognize that you are absolutely incredible and deserve to feel good about yourself. Period. You have no choice but to feel great about who you are. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can start letting that in. And if you already are, congratulations. That is a hard thing to do, and you're doing amazing, sweetie. We also have declutter, clean, organize, prioritize, simplify your life. So I think if there's anything like, you know, maybe having people over is a barrier because your life is decluttered, or, you know, if you just need some, or maybe that could be a great bonding thing. You know, I know a lot of people that hate to clean their own house, but love to clean other people's. So, you know, that could be a bonding experience with someone, and maybe they could teach you some tools and some solutions that they use for themselves. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. And also if there are like things attached to past memories, especially storms or, you know, traumatic or unwanted experiences that you really don't want to remember or hang on to, because your brain does that enough, maybe it's time to release those things. But on the back of the deck, we have believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams. What you believe is what you will create. You can do anything. And that's really this Chariot, Ace of Pentacles, Magician message. Oh, and look what's underneath that. Connect with others. Host a movie night. Have a slumber party. Surround yourself with loving energy. So just know, it might take you to be the one to make things happen. I know it might be more satisfying or more enjoyable when other people are the one to reach out, but I feel like a lot of times most people aren't the ones to do that. You know, most people are also in their heads. So sometimes I think getting the ball rolling will inspire others to do the same in the future. You know, it's really ironic that I was like, you know, the storms are ending because I don't know if you can tell, but like really dark clouds are rolling in. But we're safe, baby. We're in the house. We're having fun. And I got lights so I can turn them bitches on. Like, nothing's gonna stop us. So let's go ahead now and get your charms. So these charms are going to represent important signs, final guidance. If we get anything about specific guides, I'm gonna kind of take mini tarot cards as guide messages or representations of guides. And I decided that right now, or I guess I channeled it. I don't know. It was decided for me, or I decided, I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm yapping and we need to start. I don't want to show this because like, no free lunch to corporations, am I right? Anyway. Oh, sorry, headphone users. Headphone users, you might want to turn things down. Sorry if that was really loud, but pile one, guys, what charms, messages, letters, numbers, signs are significant for them, please? So, where do I want to start? Living my best life. That's where you're going, baby. And that's what your guides want you to do. And so spend less time criticizing yourself for what you haven't done and spend more time praising yourself for what you have done and for what you can do to make the things you need to do more pleasurable. Not only that, but I feel like part of living your best life is recognizing that things will never be perfect. You will never be perfect. And that's fine. Like, that is perfect. Like, your best life is not a life that is aesthetically pleasing or, you know, the life that others dream of. It's the life that feels good to you, and the life that feels, and it may not always feel good. Life doesn't always feel good, but it's the life that's worth living, and the life that you are willing to endure the hardships, endure the challenges, endure the journey in order to recognize, you know what, I'm glad I'm on this journey and I wouldn't want any other one. We have this 8 of Swords though. So I feel like there's one guide here that is here to help you move through unwanted mental patterns that keep you stuck in rumination and make you feel trapped. This is like a fun guide, and I'm hearing that Happy song by I don't know, it was super popular. I don't think it wasn't John. I think it was Pharrell. I think it's Pharrell maybe. Orange might be a significant color for them, but you can call upon this guide. Also the number 8, they might be really drawn to that number. But call on this guide when you need help getting out of your head. You might forget that. So maybe write it down somewhere where you'll see it. Like, when I get stuck, call on this guide. You don't need to know their name. You don't need to know who they are. If you want to, that's great. And they might reveal things to you, but just know, like, them helping you is not dependent on you knowing who they are. Like, they're already here helping you, but gratitude is always appreciated. So if you want to do anything for them, you know, tell them thank you, pray to them, give them the opportunity to help you, or ask them for help if prayer is not your thing. They definitely want to help you with that. And I definitely think that they are here to help clear away mental blockages. And I think they're actually really passionate about that. Because you've got a really strong intuition that they want you to start listening to, because that is what's going to help you feel more connected to your guidance team. But we also have, we have the 10 of Swords as well. So this guide is one that is helping you release the past. I feel like this guide is actually newer. The only reason why I was kind of laughing is because I think both of these guides have probably had some really intense human experiences. I don't know if they are from, I don't know, maybe you know of these guides, or maybe you were connected with them in life, or maybe they are part of like your bloodline or spiritual line. But this guide is definitely helping you clear away the dark clouds to bring more light to you and to help you end the past. It's like they're literally a clearing guide. They're a guide that's here to help you usher in a new and I actually do think they love Usher, like Usher songs. And also I just heard the beginning of Yeah. I can't remember who. I don't think that's Usher. I think it's somebody else. But that classic song, Yeah. They just want you to like get up and dance and have fun. Like, I definitely think that you're gonna be bombarded with joyful or like beats worth dancing to in the near future, because your guys just want you to uplift you and help you. They might also be encouraging you to learn to drum. But also this guide is here to help clear away the past and encourage you to see a new light, to see things in a more new pile one order sort of way, where this new order is lighter. It's more self-loving, self-respecting, self-accepting. They want you to genuinely be at peace with where you are and recognize that you don't need to struggle in order to feel like you're enough, or that you're worthy, or that you're okay. You always have been. Also the number 10 could be significant. And also this is a protection guide. So when you're feeling unsafe, or you need to know, like you need signs that someone is a safe person or not, this is going to be the guide that you want to call to. And so the number 10 could be significant for them. The number red. Wow. Okay. The color red could be significant. It's also making me think of the song Red by Hyuna. That is a great self-love ballad. You might need to translate it into English, but I know there is an English line that's like too hot to care. So another sign to sweat out the negative vibes, and also an encouragement to love yourself enough to not let the noise get to you, or just you know, see your worth enough to not let it get to you. We also have a little sleeping cat here. And I feel like this is one of the signs that you are doing well, is that you will either be able to nap or go to sleep. And oh my, I'm hearing Bethany Frankel in my head. Go to sleep! Go to sleep! OG Real Housewives of New York. That has nothing to do with this, but I was just hearing that in my head, and I wondered if there's anyone else who's an OG Roni, who's watched OG Roni, that would know and understand that. Where you are able to cultivate a sense of inner peace, or just have a level of mental discipline to be able to put down inner burdens enough to be able to rest. If you're able to get mental rest, that is going to be a sign that you have healed a lot, grown a lot, done a lot. That's something to be proud of. But also, like, a sleeping cat could be like a sign from your guides. And I would take it more than anything as a sign of, you don't need to worry, you don't need to be on your guard, like, we've got you. We also have this little ladybug here. So ladybugs could be a significant sign, but I also see ladybugs as a sign of two things: inner child healing and root chakra healing. So I feel like you are learning to feel more safe on Earth, on this planet, come into your body more. That's why movement is such a great thing to do. I highly recommend yoga with Adrienne. I mean, she's very popular for a reason. She's a fantastic, and all of her videos, she's got so many of them for so many different things, and she has a lot of different modifications. So whatever level you are at, whatever, you know, you need, like, she always has plenty of solutions for that. And there are tons of other great creators that give movement videos, exercise videos, yoga videos for free. So definitely check those out. But ladybugs could be a sign of your guides as well. We also have this airplane. What does it say? Take me far away. So I feel like your guides, okay, first of all, if you ever have any inspired ideas and then you see an airplane, take that as confirmation to follow that, to follow that inspiration. But also, I feel like this little plane is saying that your guides want to help you go far away from, you know, your past, and the past that you don't want to hold on to. Like, you are traveling and entering a new era where that time will seem so foreign and so distant to you. And I think that you will just have, like, it will be impossible not to love and appreciate yourself, because you will know the amount of work and effort it took to get there. And just know, like, you should just be so, like, I'm already so proud of you and just so happy for you. And I just hope that you can celebrate those wins too, because you deserve to. We also have this little bottle cap. It's a little Topo Chico bottle, so that could be significant. Maybe you and a friend will really like Topo Chico or something like that, and take what meaning there that you really want. But also the fact that once again we have red and yellow, I really think the lower chakras, so the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root, and the earth star, I think those 4 chakras would be really beneficial to focus on. Anyway, let's look at your little fortune messages. So we have the person who will not stand for something will fall for anything. So definitely when it comes to socializing and being around people, you know, make sure you don't accept people that, you know, don't align with your values or don't have values in general. Like, that could be a sign that, you know, someone who, you know, who won't stand for anything or maybe doesn't have, like, boundaries or morals, like, they might not be a safe person, because, you know, even though they might be cool with you, they might not be you know, their proximity of who they're around, like those people might not be very safe. And the numbers here are 23, 22, 18, 36, 38, 47. We also have, your dreams can only come true once you wake up. Well, good thing you already are awakening. And we have 1, 19, 33, 53, 55, 59. Also, guys, my eyesight is not as great as it used to be. Sometimes I have trouble seeing these tiny numbers. So if you can see them better, feel free to correct me if I say or do something wrong. We also have be an optimist. There does not seem to be too much use being anything else. And your numbers are 7, 9, 2, 36, 23, 32. Lots of 2s and 3s. And finally, we have later today, your wisdom will guide you. So I already think like you may be listening to your intuition more and realizing that she's got a lot of good things to say. We also have 17, 35, 33, 51, 56, 37. And if you guys noticed any repeating numbers, I think 33 is a repeating number. That might be significant for you, but pile 1, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me and show appreciation for my channel and allow me to keep making these readings. So thank you to everyone who does that. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can be part of my notification squad. If you want me to see your comments, I usually see comments when I first upload. After that, it is up to the universe, but I'm trying my best to be more responsive. I am a bit introverted, so I can't always respond to everyone as much as I would like to, but I really love hearing from you guys, and I really love like just hearing about your lives and being able to cheer you on. So thank you for sharing yourself and your world with me and making like this community such a welcoming and wonderful place. Other ways, you can check out other videos, ones on the extendeds. You can check out my social media. You can check out my candles, Code ASO 10 merch, social media. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope these messages resonated and brought you peace. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you and your guides so much. Thank you so much to them for coming through. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this. I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the orange triangle, that's just what we're going to call it, and this change card, this is going to be your reading on urgent messages from your guides. So I actually feel really strongly for you guys that there is one specific guide that is really protective over you and helping you right now undergo a greater process of transformation and change. One big thing that I am getting from them, and just this card in general, is that it is okay to be in states of fluctuation around productivity, energy levels, emotional balance. This is not a time for everything to remain consistent. So it's okay if your consistency has lacked. I feel like this process of change that you're undergoing is much bigger than you realize. And I'm actually kind of getting, this horse reminds me of the little horses on merry-go-rounds where they go up and down. And I feel like that might be an experience that you're having or will be continuing to have as you undergo this process. And your guides want you to understand that that's actually a sign that things are working well and working right. I feel like part of the change that you're looking for has to do with more stability, more balance, or the ability to do more with the stability and balance you already have. And I feel like this guide specifically, but you have other guides around you too, but this guide specifically is saying, if there is more transience in your life, if there is more chaos and unpredictability, more highs and lows, that's actually a sign that you're doing things right. And the more you can honor those instead of beating yourself up for it, the better. Because if things remain very stagnant and are the same thing every day and you're at the same place, that's actually a sign that change has yet to be implemented, or you may be suppressing what you're feeling or experiencing, which is prolonging this cycle of change. But also with that, you know, the fact that we had a merry-go-round here, you're not meant to go in circles. You know, this little horse is free and flying in the clouds. So one of the things that I feel is meant to change for you, and this guide is actually encouraging, is to change your response to self-care. And I feel like what they mean by that is you may wait until like things are really bad, or you're so burnt out or stressed that you know you need to care for yourself, or you know you need to take a time out. And I feel like that can actually work against you, because I feel like there are things that you miss out on in life, or miss opportunities to do things because, you know, you're saying, no, I need to work, or no, I need to do this. And then when you actually do have time to yourself, it's like you're not really able to do that, doing things you enjoy, because you're just trying to care for yourself in the process. So one of the things that I feel like you're being encouraged to focus on changing is how you can be gentler with yourself, and how you can be more responsive to the fluctuations within you and around you, and how you can use those fluctuations to your advantage. So one of the things I mean by that is, how can you be kind to yourself, or how can you make an experience more enjoyable now? How can you pay attention to the signs of burnout or the signs of overwhelm before they get to a breaking point? I feel like there is meant to be this doesn't have to be such a turbulent time. It can be gentler. And even though there still will very likely be fear and uncertainty and chaos around you, it won't feel as overwhelming or daunting or scary, because you're taking care of yourself in the process and not beating yourself up for things outside of your control. I definitely think as well, the more you can focus on where you condemn yourself, or where you blame yourself for things that maybe you don't have direct control over, or where you make worse by condemning or blaming yourself, I feel like looking at those things and, you know, doing your best to release them or work with them so that they're less impactful will be helpful and will make this transition more smooth. But I also feel like with this sun being here, I feel like this guide is connected to the sun, which is actually really interesting, because if you looked at the reading where someone has their eye on you, if you picked the group with a guide in there, then I wonder if this is the same guide that's coming through, which if so, I'm so honored that they're coming around again. Definitely let me know if you saw both of those readings. But you might feel like you're not doing enough to change, or that this change isn't going to happen until you do a complete 180. But the thing is that you're already in the process of change, and you already have been for a while. It's just the results of that change aren't visible yet. You're still in a transitory place. And so I feel like this is important and powerful confirmation to let you know that you're further along than you think, and you already are in the process of change. So when you want to beat yourself up or get frustrated with yourself because you feel like you still need to do these changes, know that you're already doing them. And your frustration, I think, rather than being frustrated with yourself, like clocking yourself when you are frustrated with yourself and recognizing this frustration it comes from the place in you that may be a little bit impatient with this process, but that also knows what you're capable of and where you're meant to be. And know that frustration is a sign that well, you don't have to hold on to it, but when it surfaces, it's a sign that you are changing, that you are growing, that this more expansive version of you is emerging already. And while it is hard to be patient with that process, know you're already doing it. And if you want to have frustration, be frustrated at physical reality. Be frustrated at, the patience that it requires. But at the same time, give yourself some credit, because it's not easy to change. If it were, I think humans would be a lot different than we are. So just know that this is a marathon, not a sprint, and you're doing great. So let's go a bit deeper now into your oracles and see what else we have here. So we have the number 2020. This is a warning sign not to do things in a rush. You are operating from a place of fear, and that is never a good thing. Do not focus on materialism, but learn to love what you do. The rest will come. And I'm hearing take what resonates there and discard the rest. We also have transformation. We have Witch, and we have Waxing Crescent, set intentions. So while I am shuffling your tarot, I'm just going to go ahead and get started, but also I want to thank everyone who takes the time to leave me a little like or subscribe or comment. All of those things are really helpful, letting the ads play in the background as well. I won't expect you to watch them, I'm not a monster, but thank you to everyone who takes the time to do that, because that's what allows me to make these readings and allows them to be free for you guys. And yeah, so thank you. Okay. So satisfying. So the phoenix could be an important animal, as well as the horse, which are two really powerful symbolic animals. I mean, the horse will literally carry you to your destination, and the phoenix is all about regeneration. I definitely think that this is a powerful sign that you are undergoing a process of transformation. But the thing is that you're undergoing it from two places. You're undergoing a physical transformation and you're undergoing a spiritual transformation, and they're both happening at once. This witch card is indicating to me that there's a lot of changes happening in your third eye and your throat chakra area, as well as your crown. And then you're also experiencing a lot of changes in your solar plexus area, your sacral, your root. So it's completely understandable if you feel disconnected, if you feel chaotic, if you feel like you don't even know where to look, where to start, what to make of things. Like, you might be in a state of complete and utter confusion, or just like, bro, I don't even know what's going on. That's fine, because there is a lot changing. And honestly, if you had an idea of what's going on, I feel like it might just lead to more frustration, because things might change so quickly that you once again might blame yourself or feel frustrated if you're not getting the if things change again and then you have no clue again. You might be like, why am I not figuring it out this time? You're not meant to figure things out. You're meant to flow with what is and trust yourself in the process. But if you need a sense of grounding, a sense of stability in the chaos, that's where you need to center yourself in your heart and connect with your heart, because your heart is what is going to keep you sane through this process. Your heart is the only chakra center that I mentioned that is not changing. And I think that's because your heart is the one that initiated this transformation and this change in the first place. And it has been leading the way for every other energy center to follow suit. And so I feel like you are changing and shifting and expanding in so many ways. So like, if you are emotional, let yourself be emotional. You are releasing energy. If you are sleeping a lot, let it happen. Sleep is one of the most healing things you can do for yourself. If you find yourself craving foods that you normally wouldn't, make sure you do what you can to eat those foods. You never know what sort of nutrients or ingredients in that food you need in order to support yourself. And you might find that things that normally work for you are not very helpful during this time, and things that you've never tried end up becoming, you know, staples of your self-care routine, or just staples of what helps you cope with the change. And they may not stay forever, but all I do know is that the more you can flow with what is and follow impulse, obviously not to a super destructive degree, but follow impulse when it arises and see what it's leading to, that will be really helpful. Because if you go based off of what you know and what has been, or what routines have worked in the past, I think you're going to find yourself being even more frustrated, because what the past version of you needed is not what the current version of you needs, and what the current version of you needs might be changing every single day or every single hour. This is actually a really smart process though, because it is teaching you to be present. And rather than living in the future or living in the past, you're learning the power of now. I know there's a book by Alan Watts called The Power of Now, so maybe some of you have been reading that and it's working, or maybe some of you have been called to read that and that's coming through. But now is where all magic is created. Now is what determines the future. And the more you learn to live in the now, the more you can create from a place of centeredness, rather than acting from a place of fear or a place of shame or guilt. So let's get your tarot cards out. So pile 2, spirits. Pile 2, spirit guides. What would you like pile 2 to know at this time? I just realized you're pile 2. First of all, I do want, one thing that they want to say is that you're doing amazing. Like, you're doing great. And this process would be already easier if you would just give yourself some grace. But yeah, we have the High Priestess in reverse. That makes sense. What else? We have the 7 of Cups upright. Yeah. If you're feeling disconnected from your intuition and confused, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. And that actually might be a mechanism that is happening with all of these higher chakra energetic upgrades. It might be that your intuition may not be the most trustworthy right now. Not that you can't trust it, but it just may be hard for you to listen to it or access it in ways that make sense to you. It's almost like trying to use a computer, but you can't because it's like, it's installing updates. And so you're like, is my intuition broken? No, it's just installing updates. Okay, what else? Oh, we have the Empress in reverse. What else? Spirit. We have Death upright. Okay, and one more. We have the Three of Wands. And we have Temperance on the back of the deck. So I'm feeling really called to talk to you about the transition between the Death card and the Temperance card. Death most often does not represent a literal physical death. It usually represents an ending of something happening. And one example where I experienced the shift from Death to Temperance, because Temperance comes right after, when Temperance is all about rebalancing, it's about wisdom, it's about higher learning. I saw this when my niece was born. She completely, there was a symbolic death in the sense that my sibling and my in-law, you know, they became parents for the first time, and there was an ending to me and my siblings being the youngest ones in the family. There's now this new little baby here, and not only that, but there is an ending to the dynamics that existed in our family. And so with that death, that created a shift. And with that shift, it left all of us needing to rebalance and reassess what roles worked for us. So, you know, for example, family members like my grandmother, you know, she's spending more time playing with the baby, holding the baby, things like that, as she should. So, you know, we're taking up more responsibility than maybe we used to in the past, so that she can spend more time with the baby, she can have more fun, and that we can, you know, distribute tasks and things like that more easily. It's almost like everyone in the family had to find a new center, had to find a new way to balance as this new precious being came into our family. And so even though it was a really happy ending, right, it required us to make changes and required us to step up in different ways and to, you know, just make different changes. And so I feel like that is something that is happening for you, where you are simultaneously experiencing endings and needing to learn to rebalance. And one of the frustrating things about this is that I feel like there are tools that worked for you in the past that are not working right now, and that's making you feel like you're not capable of this, or like you're failing or doing something wrong. The fact that we have the Empress in reverse here really makes me feel like you might be punishing yourself a lot right now, or allowing fearful energies to take root in you in ways that shame you. And I don't think that's really fair. I feel like you know what it is like to feel good and centered within yourself, and I feel like you are taking things on as like it is your fault, or it is a personal failure on your part that you're not handling these changes as well as you think you should be. Which, first of all, like who in the hell is supposed to be the judge of that? Like, nobody can determine that for you. But I can also see how a lot of this has to deal with the fact that society at large tends to operate in a distorted masculine lens, which it's not about gender. It's more about like distorted yang energy, where, you know, you're expected to be constantly productive, constantly doing output, focused on reaping material things, focused on schedules, planning, to the detriment of nurturing yourself, well-being, letting things happen, letting things flow. And obviously there's a lot that we can't control with that, and that's something you do need to give yourself grace for. And it is natural that like you're going to get caught up in that. Like, it is understandable to have survival fears. It is understandable, especially if you depend on yourself, or, you know, you need to step up in certain ways. It is completely understandable if you are having trouble trusting yourself or feeling a lack of security in yourself, and because your body, your mind, your energy, your emotions, your creativity are not maybe able to perform in the ways that they have in the past. And that's not a failure on your part, but it might feel like a failure because maybe if your output is less, you're receiving less. Maybe you're not able to show up in ways that you're used to. Maybe you're having to scale back, which means that you're also having to make fiscal changes to match that scale back. Maybe you're not performing to the same degree that you're used to in your work, and that's making you feel bad. All of that to say that's super valid, and there is no reason why you shouldn't process, feel, and express those frustrations. But one thing that I am seeing here is that there is a resistance and a refusal to flow with what is, despite the fact that you're welcoming and really desiring change, which is happening. I mean, the fact that we have death up right here and the fact that we have the Three of Wands, one thing I really want to commend you on is that you have not given up. You've continued to persevere. And honestly, I can tell for some of you, you are absolutely exhausted. And I just like want to give you the biggest hug. And so like, I am sending you a big old energy hug. I just like want you to know, like, it's okay. Like, if you need to fall apart, if you need to cry, if you need to scream, if you need to break plates or something, I mean, obviously be safe. Make sure you clean up the glass, do it somewhere, you know, maybe ones that you're planning on getting rid of, or go to a place where you can do that stuff. Do what you need to do to get this energy out. But what I see here is the way that our societies are currently structured, which, like, obviously you could live in a different society. I mean, we all live in a society, right? But I feel like no matter how things differ culturally, I feel like in the vast majority of like mainstream cultures right now, there's not much space for retreat. There's not much space for mystery and the unknown. And there's not much grace or patience with people as they move through internal processes. There's not even really discussion about that. Like, one example that I'm thinking of is, I have a like financial advisor that I use to like help me with investments and like, you know, saving my money and things like that. And she always asks me every year what she thinks I'm going to make. And I'm like, girl, I have no idea. Like, I don't, like, I can't tell you what I make in a month. I can't tell you because it's always different. And I feel like it's really hard for someone who's in that position where they're used to having projections and having like consistent ideas of what's going to be happening. I can't give them that. Like, I just can't. And it sucks because it's like, I kind of wish I knew, but at the same time, that's not how I operate. And that's not how like my business works. And so with that, she has to find ways to work with me, and we have to find ways to kind of bridge that gap, and that can be challenging. And one of the things that can feel kind of embarrassing or feel like awkward is, how do you explain to someone that you literally have no idea what's going to happen because you're not necessarily flying by the seat of your pants, but kind of, and there's so much outside of your control that you just have faith in. Like, what's your 5-year plan? Have faith and ball out, I guess. Like, that's my 5-year plan. Like, and so you might have a similar one, and that might be hard to people that don't quite understand what that means, because a lot of people don't connect with themselves. They live their lives on autopilot, or they live their lives in ways where they've shut themselves down so much that reconnection would be painful. And so they exist in a same way, day in, day out, that sameness that I was talking about earlier. And that's not meant for you. It never was. And I think anytime you've been stuck in that sameness or stuck in that monotony, you've known that there's something off. And that's not to say that you're never meant to experience monotony. Like there are so many aspects of life that are monotonous, but your monotony is meant to have a purpose. And I feel like you would actually crave that because you have experienced a lot of fluctuations. And so one of the things that your guides are coming through to say is that you don't need to have a plan. You're already doing great, and you don't owe anyone an explanation. If there is something that you need to know in order to keep you out of harm's way or in order to put you in the right direction, you're going to receive those messages. But the reality is that right now, you're just needing to be present with yourself as you undergo massive, massive shifts that are going to destabilize your energy levels, your physical body, your mental state, your emotions. And that is an uncomfortable experience, and you're not always going to have explanations for why that's happening. More often than not, you're not going to have explanations for it. And so that's why it's so important you flow with what is and be on your own team, because obligations and expectations that you put on yourself could just make this process so much harder. Because of course, we all have obligations in the outside world. We all have things that we need to do, and we all have things that just have to get done. Don't make it harder on yourself by forcing yourself to do it in a way that is antithetical to what you need. I definitely feel like with this Seven of Cups here, your dreams might be highly vivid right now. Your imagination might be really strong as well. And you might even be using your imagination to kind of escape a little bit, which I think is okay. But here's what's important. How are you using it? Are you using it to create fearful visions of what could happen, or exciting ideas of what the future could hold? There's a process here that your guides want you to understand, where you are meant to kind of be dipping into the future in exciting and empowering ways that make the present more doable. It kind of reminds me of the Star card, where, you know, the woman in the star, she has 1 foot in water and 1 foot on land. And I feel like you have 1 foot in the present and 1 foot in the future, but your mind is still in the past. And I feel like the reason why that is because there are habits that are dying, because they need to, that won't serve you in the future. And you will know what these habits are because you'll either be tired of them or know that they need to change, or you will have habits where you're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. I don't even know like why. Like, this isn't even calling to me. This doesn't even feel good. I'm not even drawn to this, but you're just doing it out of habit. And so those are the things you want to pay attention to as like, oh, I think this is something that I can shed. But you're going to have time that you would have spent using those habits that's now open for anything. And if you're not careful, if you're overwhelmed or in a state where you're not very conscious or connected to yourself, your brain's habitual patterns are going to kick in. And so then you might just go to whatever is the path of least resistance. Okay, well, I'll just get on my phone. Or okay, well, I'll just do this other thing. Or you might be like, I don't even really feel like doing anything. That's okay. If you want to stare off into space for an hour, do that. That's better than like filling your mind with stimuli. In fact, if anything, I think one thing that could be really helpful for you is reducing the stimuli around you. You might be a bit overwhelmed in general. And so, you know, for example, if like lights are too bright or noises are too loud, you might even challenge yourself. If you're someone who likes to have background music on or frequencies or like sound bowls, challenge yourself to sit with silence. Silence might actually be a reprieve for you in ways that maybe it never has or hasn't been in a long time. I feel like allowing time for silence is allowing space for change. And it's almost like, I'm getting like kind of the example of plowing land to create a garden that you can plant things in. And I definitely feel like when you are filled with worry, and then you deal with that worry in ways where you're like distracting yourself or, you know, doing things that are overstimulating, there's really no room for you to process what you're already going through, because you're also processing all of the incoming stimuli and just all of these other thoughts, all these other ideas, all these things that aren't self. And so then you come back to yourself and you don't have any energy to process what's going on because you're exhausted from processing what you were doing or experiencing when you were trying to avoid what you were needing to process. And sometimes process doesn't have to be conscious. It just has to be a willingness to like release, you know, emotional releases, feeling emotions, feeling energies. But this Seven of Cups, your guides want you to be excited about what the future holds and excited about the fact that you haven't given up and that you're nowhere where you once were. And I feel like you're already a different person than you were 2 weeks ago. You may not realize it. You know how like when we watch plants grow or when we watch people grow, people change, you know, that the change is so gradual, we often don't notice it. But then when you look back and you see something from a while ago, you're like, oh, wow, you can see it a lot more. You know, like a plant growing, you may not realize it's really growing until you see a time lapse, right? but you're headed towards powerful new beginnings. And one of the things that your guides want you to know is that just because you feel disconnected from yourself and frustrated with your ability to perform and achieve in the outside world does not mean that you should, that should be an excuse to neglect yourself or punish yourself. If anything, that is a sign that you need yourself more than maybe you did in the past. You need more care, you need more gentleness, and you might need more help. And so I feel like this guide is saying, hey, we're here to help. But there's also a message here about witchcraft. And I'm not the most knowledgeable about witchcraft. So like, I am not, if anyone who is knowledgeable in the craft would just like to give any guidance or any tips or share their experiences, feel free. And if you have any protection rituals that you find helpful and that you want to share, I think other people could find them useful and beneficial. Obviously, only share what you're comfortable with. You know, you can hold what's sacred to you. But with this witchcraft thing being here, I always make jokes that like, I think a lot of things are witchcraft. Like if you program things, like that's witchcraft. Like my, like a Keurig machine, like, no, that's witchcraft. And like, okay, yeah, of course, like the people that make them or people that are like engineering, they know like all the parts that go in. But to me, it's magic. You know, you just put the little pot in and then stuff comes out. Witchcraft. And I feel like this is a sign that the process of creation doesn't have to be like completely thought out. Like you don't have to have a bunch of moving parts, but if you want to, you can. This call, I do feel like this guide was involved in, like, they could help you with spiritual practice or manifestation practice. You know, I think that like witchcraft itself like is so many different things and there's so many ways that it's created, but I also think that there are many people that do witchcraft unconsciously, like, you know, making a wish on a candle. I guess we did that earlier. Witchcraft. I hope I'm not offending any like legitimate witches out there. I'm just being silly and I respect what you do, but I also think that if you are worried that these shifts and these fluctuations are due to some sort of negative witchcraft, some sort of witchcraft being done upon you, I feel like this is a sign that you are protected from that. And also to not see that as more powerful than your own pure intention. Of course, those things do exist and they can be powerful and they can be intense. And if you do feel called to like seek help or seek guidance around that or seek someone who can give you help with that, please do so. But also know that one of the strongest things you can do to protect yourself is recognize that your own willpower, your own intentions, your own focus, and your own like goodwill towards yourself and others is a very strong barrier of protection, because people that do that stuff on you, first of all, what a sad use of their time and energy. Like they could be using it to empower themselves. And I mean, if you're offended by me saying that, I honestly don't really care, because like I would encourage you to do the same thing, to use your energy and your resources to empower yourself. But you might have your reasons, you might have your stuff. I don't know. I'm not judging you, but I am, you know, saying that like there might be more constructive ways to use that time and energy, because a lot of that stuff comes down to like, it's occult bullying. It's just another form of bullying. And there's a lot of bullying in life and in society. And I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies in any way. But also, you know, that's just me, and you have to decide what's good for you. And I'm not always necessarily like, I don't know how everything works. I just operate from what I believe, and I believe that being fearful and paranoid about people doing stuff like that to you leaves you more vulnerable and open when people might actually be doing stuff like that to you. But also it might make you more suspicious and just more fearful in general, and make it harder for you to open up or just even relax. And I feel like your guides are saying you are protected from this. And if any of you are watching, like if there is any legitimate concern or some sort of need to protect yourself in a way, or to like do some sort of removals or anything like that, you will know it, you will feel it, and you will be led to who you need to in order to help you through that process. But also know you can support yourself right now by just sending love to yourself, and sending love to, if you believe anyone has sent you anything, just send them love and say, I hope you heal. Like, I feel like that, I don't know, I find that to be very empowering. And you know, obviously people have free will. Like I don't want to sit here and like, I just don't like people being mean to each other, like in general. And like, and sometimes we are, like, we're human, we're not perfect. But I think that if you've been interested in witchcraft in any way, or, you know, practicing magic in any way, this is a call to start exploring, studying, learning if you want to, but also trying things. Like, even if it's just as simple as like lighting a candle, like for example, this cleanse candle, you know, saying like, I am cleansed body, mind, and spirit, and I release XYZ. I am new in this moment, you know, things like that. But also with this, if you are someone who practices, who does engage in spiritual practices, and you haven't been able to do that, and you've been feeling guilty about that, give yourself some grace, because I feel like you could be protected from doing certain things, like maybe spell work or things like that, because you are in a fragile state right now, or in a state where what you want to happen may not happen in the way you want it to, because maybe you're unfocused, maybe the intentions you set don't match like what you're trying to conjure. Like, I feel like that is highly individual. But what I do know is that when it comes to your perception of what's actually happening, you are judging yourself based on past parameters that no longer exist, that you're no longer meant to hold yourself to. And the thing is not only are you in this state of change, but it's harder to see the changes happening because you're looking at things from basically like a lens that isn't your prescription anymore. So if for those of you that have 20/20 vision and that can see for free, first of all, congratulations. But for those of you that wear contacts or glasses like me, you know that your prescription changes over time. And what once worked, what once gave you clear vision, may not be strong enough anymore, may not be what you need anymore. And so you have to update your prescription. And so I feel like that's kind of what's happening, where like you can't see with the same glasses you used to. Things are fuzzy again. And so you're kind of needing to find those subtle shifts and changes and shift your perception in ways that help you see more clearly. And one of the things that might help you is just knowing that you don't know what the future holds, but you know you're getting closer to it every single day, and you intend to do the best you can, to be as empowered as you can, to be as gentle with yourself. I think one of the most powerful things that you can do is not focus on outcomes or productivity, but rather focus on intentions. So, you know, if you wake up one day and it's like nothing is happening today, then maybe your intention should be to be gentle with yourself and to do things that make you feel nurtured and rested. If you know you've got to show up today and you feel like crap, maybe your intention should be, what can I do to support myself through this process? You know, what are the comfiest clothes that you own that would make you feel, you know, a little bit more nurtured? Or, you know, is there someone you can call that, you know, you could talk to that maybe would let you vent? Or, you know, what can you do to make this day a little bit easier? Can you get yourself a little sweet treat? Can you, you know, take away to work or to your obligations that's maybe more scenic? What can you do to just give yourself a sense of freedom in this constricting, stressful experience that is unknown transformation, that is created by us, but really how it manifests is out of our control. I feel like one thing that you do need to know, though, is that you're doing great and you don't need to rush this process. And in fact, if you try, you're just going to find yourself being frustrated. It's like trying to drive on tires that don't have enough air in them. Like, you're going to pop a flat, like you're not going to get very far. And rather than being frustrated, it's like, let the tires fill up. You don't need... I also like the example of like a surfer. Instead of paddling your way to shore, wait for a wave to carry you, and just do what you can. Enjoy sitting in the ocean in the meantime. And that might not be enjoyable. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy the ocean, but some people don't. And also too, like, don't beat yourself up if you're not enjoying this process. If you are frustrated, let whatever your experience is be valid. And also recognize, though, that all of these uncertainties and fluctuations, they are powerful signs of the fact that you are changing. And I know you know that, and I know I've said that, but I want you to take those as signs of, what do I want in my future that I'm excited about? How can I get closer to that today? You know, a lot of times who we envision in our future might not be the version of us, like might be so different from us that it takes time to get there, or we might have visions for our future and we want ourselves to be something that we're not. Like, the example that I'm getting is like, you guys see my handwriting. it's not amazing, and it's usually a lot sloppier, especially if I'm like taking notes or something like that. And I've always wanted to be that girly that, you know, had like super clear, like easy to read, aesthetically pleasing notes, but I'm not that girly. I've never been, especially in a time constricted environment. But I can be more organized, I can write with more colors, and I can take time later to organize them if I want to, but I may not be able to do that seamlessly and fluidly the same way other people might, you know? I might just have to accept that my writing might be a bit sloppier than other people's, and that's okay. That doesn't make it any less valuable. Well, what's valuable is the information on it, right? And your ability to get the information you need. So when it comes to yourself, when you're envisioning your future, make sure it aligns with who you know you are. Because like, while we can change, I think there are some aspects of us that we just know are core to ourselves. Like if you're the type of person who knows that you work better at night than in the morning, maybe forcing yourself to be a morning person isn't the answer. Maybe you find a way to make it more structured for yourself, like make your nights more structured or freer so that you can have more opportunities for fun and creativity. And maybe instead of forcing yourself to get up early and do things, allow yourself to sleep until you have to get up and prepare the night before so that the mornings aren't stressful. Like find ways to make things work for you instead of doing what other people suggest is best, because we're all different and we all have different ways of doing things. And one thing you need to know is that you are not off schedule, you are not off track, you are not doing anything wrong. You are doing amazing, sweetie. I know, I'm fucking cheering you on and I'm so proud of you. And I need you to know that you might be like, there's nothing to be proud of. Like I'm literally just existing. I'm proud of you for doing that. Existence is hard. Like literally just having thoughts and sensing them and having perceptive abilities, like that shit is hard. Having physicality and having to like poop and shit and think about things, like it's hard, all right? Our guides, they don't have carbon. Like they don't have to think about going to the grocery store or, you know, other things like that. And it's actually crazy to think about how much we have progressed as a society in terms of, you know, just physical advancements that make life less challenging than it used to be for our ancestors. And guess what? It's still hard. Like life is hard, but life is also beautiful and worth it and incredible, and it can be easy too. And it's everything. It's a ton of paradoxes. It's a lot. And you're doing great. And I feel like the biggest thing that you need to know is embrace unpredictability, embrace impulse to do things that are outside of your character unless they would put you in severe danger, of course. And embrace the fact that this unknown is giving you the opportunity to not only conjure a reality that you couldn't envision, but allow it to merge with what you have envisioned and realize there's better outcomes than you could even imagine. And you've already been taking yourself there without even realizing it. It's like if you drive only staring in the rearview mirror, that's not a very safe way to drive. It's likely that you could run into something or run off the road or anything. Don't be focused on that. Unless you're sitting in the left lane going way too slow and holding up traffic, then you should be looking in your rearview mirror, and you should be getting over to the right and or left or whatever isn't the passing lane and let other people pass, because that's polite and that's what you should do and that's how they were designed. That was my own personal thing. But if I have my own platform, I'm going to advocate for people using systems well so that they actually work as they're meant to. And that's my own personal pet peeve. I'm a child of God until that. Then I have to learn how to be patient and give people grace. And you're going to have to do that with yourself too, because sometimes in life, you're going to be the person sitting in the left lane metaphorically. It would never be literally. Because if anyone is going faster than me, I'm going to get out of their way because they're clearly going somewhere and they need to get where they're going. But metaphorically speaking, sometimes we are going to want to move forward faster, and there are going to be obstacles in front of us that are on their phones or not paying attention or moving at their own pace, completely oblivious to what other people's needs are. And we just have to surrender and accept that because we don't want to go to prison. So with that being said, I'm trying to see if there's any other messages here. More than anything, just trust that when things, like when you're meant to have answers, when a shift is meant to come, when evidence of this change shows up, know that that's happening all in the perfect time, in the perfect way. Also, this guide does seem to be connected to spiritual practices like spell work or witchcraft. So they can help guide you to the sources, or if you want to do it on your own. Like I remember in that reading that I was mentioning, it's pile 4 of the who has their eye on you reading. I did it recently. If you feel called to it, please go watch it, because it might be just a continuation of this reading or really helpful. I remember one of the things that I said in there was just start trying. You know, you don't have to have everything planned out. You don't have to do things perfectly. Trial and error is okay here. And that is kind of the process you're already in anyway. But I think the more you just accept the resistance to what you can't control, and accept the fact that you are going to have to, you're not really going to be able to plan how things go, and you're going to have to do things more minute by minute, the more you're going to realize there is wisdom and there are messages and there are answers in that. And you're going to learn so much more than you would from trying to anticipate what is happening. And I feel like you might find that you move forward even more quickly because you're not resisting or quite literally dragging your heels to the forces that are moving you. It's like, instead of paddling against the current, you'll be letting the current carry you, and you'll realize, oh, this process of movement is a lot less exhausting when I'm not trying to swim against it and just letting it carry me. So I would say the best thing that you can do is every single day, take a scan, take a 5, and maybe not at the beginning of the day, because maybe you don't know what your vibe is yet, but when you feel a little bit centered or you have a moment, just scan and see, okay, what's going on within me, and find like one word that you can promise yourself that you can focus on today. Whether it's, I set the intention to empower myself in every way I can today, or I set the intention to give myself grace, or I set the intention to do my best today, or I set the intention to just go with the flow. I know that's not one word, but you know, you're already in the process of creating, and the future that you're creating is far more magnificent than I think you can envision. And the thing is that I think some of your visions involve like massive changes in your environment, which those could definitely be there. But if you had those massive changes right now, you wouldn't be ready for them, or you wouldn't be able to embrace them in the way that you will be when they come, when you're ready. It's almost like not only are you energetically aligning and physically aligning with this future because you're creating it, seeding it already, but also it's like that future wouldn't be accessible to a past version of you, or even the version of you right now, because that version of you wouldn't know how to handle it. Like you might miss things, like you might feel guilty or feel like you don't deserve it, or you might feel like you don't know how to maintain it, or it's more uncomfortable than you realized, or you're like, wow, I have what I want and I can't appreciate it. Now I feel bad, now I feel ungrateful. It's almost like everything's working out perfectly and you don't have to overthink it. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but just know that your body is designed to communicate to you what you need. And so when you're frustrated with it, when it's really tired, or you're frustrated with it when it's craving something that you feel like you shouldn't have, or that you normally wouldn't eat, or you're frustrated with it because it's acting in ways you don't understand, know that that's how it's talking to you. And if it could use words, I'm sure it would, but it can't. So it uses sensory information. The same way a baby can't talk, it has to cry, because that's how it communicates. That's how your body communicates. And learning different forms of communication, like how your guides communicate. I think for you, your guides communicate in the quiet moments. And I feel like that's why silence is important. You know, it might come in the version of a thought that says, what if we did something differently? Or what if we just gave ourselves a break? Or in the words of a stranger you happen to overhear, or a sign on a billboard that you would have missed if you were up in your head trying to figure things out. I think in being more observant, you will find more answers that have always been available to you than you realized, and also realize that you don't have to be the one to figure things out all the time. That in fact, there are constantly sources of love and support that are trying to help you. But if you can't hear it, if you can't see it, they're just gonna have to keep trying new ways. So maybe this reading came to you in a way where maybe you haven't been watching readings, or maybe you've never watched readings before. Well, hi, welcome, thank you for being here. Especially because this has been a bit of a long one, but just know that you're not truly disconnected from your intuition. Like I said with the example of it's downloading, like you're downloading new things, physically and spiritually. A lot is changing. I mean, like, I feel like one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, you know, Pile 2.0. You're gonna be like, it's really Dua Lipa, like, did a full 180, crazy. Like, you are going to feel like a different person, and that's when you're really gonna know, like, okay, wow, like I really have shifted into this new reality. And a lot of that is going to be internal, and you're going to see things that have been in your world already in new ways and have a profound sense of gratitude. But also don't feel like you are ungrateful or beat yourself up for, you know, just the like valid emotional, mental, physical experiences you may be having during intense shifts. Like, that is okay and that is understandable. The universe knows that you're truly grateful. Like, your guides know that you're grateful. Like, you don't have to be like on your knees, like super grateful all the time. I mean, you can if you want to. Wink, wink. But don't beat yourself up for that. Like I said earlier, your heart is what is leading you. Your heart is what got you on this path in the first place. Your heart is what initiated these transformations, and your heart is what is going to lead you through this. Your heart is the eye of the storm of change. And your heart, and you might be like, how do I connect with my heart? Connect to what you're feeling. Go inward. You know, look at heart connecting meditations. Find ways, you know, what lights your heart on fire. You know, what would the most loving version of you tell yourself? What would you, and you want to know how you connect to your heart? Think about the people in your life that you love. If they were in your situation, what would you say to them? How would you perceive them? What grace would you give them that you're incapable of giving to yourself? No, not that you're incapable of giving to yourself, that you haven't been giving to yourself that you could. You are capable of giving yourself that grace. And just know that things are changing in ways that you're not going to go back to a past version you're fearful of. You're living life in a more embodied way, in a more alive way than you ever have. And I feel like one of the things that you're going to find is that new identities form, new identities fall away, but the core of who you've always been remains. And it's really going to be cool. It's like you are, like, the core of you is a light and you're just putting on different lampshades. And we love that for you. And just know that every day is a powerful new beginning for you. And actually, the more you can be present and just be like, okay, this is new, this is different, or this sensation isn't new, but what I want to do to address it is different. All of that will be really helpful. And just know, like, you've got this, and I'm proud of you, and your guides are proud of you. And this guide especially that is here working with you wants you to know that you have got everything that you need in order to feel safe. And actually, before we get into your channeled messages, there's actually this pyramid reminded me of a protection meditation, and it is in the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. So if you work with Isis or with Egyptian gods, this could be confirmation for you, or maybe this guide was from ancient Egypt if you feel connected to that. But there's a protection pyramid one, and I think it's actually available on Spotify. You might want to Google like Alana Fairchild, like Isis meditations. It's the Pyramid of Light. So psychic protection. I'll just read this little message and then I'll show you the meditation. As a being growing in significant light, darker energies can become more attracted to you. There is nothing to fear and only more mastery and awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. Here is guidance on the skills that you have within you now to deal with any undesired interference. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is now time to end that interference with love and compassion. So for those of you that knew there was interference, that might be the case. Obviously, you can skip this part, but I'll just hold this up really quickly. Of course, well, 51 minutes, that's not too bad. I'll hold that, so hopefully you can screenshot that.
But I think for all of you, you know, it might not actually be interference. Sorry, I'm talking as loud. The mic is closer. It might not actually be interference for some of you. It might just be fear. So whether it is or it isn't, I would say whatever makes you less fearful, trust in that. But I think for all of you, oh my God, yeah, it is your heart, because you're stepping your vibration deeper into love. Like, that is the heart center that's going to help you. So, okay, here is the ritual of light. And obviously this is a lot. So one of the things that I would recommend is, I like I said, I do think there is a recording of this available. Maybe not, but if there isn't, record yourself going through this and listen, because there's nothing more powerful. Okay, I know, we all cringe at the sound of our own voice. I do too. Why? You know why I put my hands on the screen every time, like, I say hi or bye? That's so that I can edit the video without having to listen to my own voice. So yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But one of the things that I've had to embrace is that, you know, there's nothing wrong with my voice, and it's just, you know, it being mine that's scary. And shout out to all of you that have been like, I listen to you to fall asleep. I love you for that, and I could never imagine that. So thank you for being so kind to me. Obviously you can screenshot this. Okay, I guess I have shit written down there that I'm going to protect, because, you know, private. But there's also an incantation that you can say if you don't want, if you know, the whole process is too much. But pyramids in general are very protective and very solid and sturdy. So if you feel like you need some stability or some grounding, maybe visualize yourself being wrapped in a pyramid of light, or a pyramid made of a substance that makes you feel grounded, like hematite or iron. And then that incantation or that meditation could just help you as well feel more stable. I don't even know what I wrote down here. I'm like, you know what? Some things gotta stay sacred, because I reveal a lot. Okay. Oh yeah, this was just a download about love. Oh, I guess I'll read it. To be in the energy of love is not toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. The goal of raising your vibe to unconditional love is about sustaining it for yourself and others, so you can, I can't even read that, so you can take action and deal with, I don't know what that word is, from the highest, most loving perspective, and resolve issues in the most balanced and aligned way for the highest good. Something like that. I don't know why I was hiding that. I mean, I know why I was hiding that, because I didn't know what I wrote down, and who knows what I said. But usually it's not bad. I'm just embarrassed about being perceived like everyone else, especially when it's vulnerable. Okay, let's get into your channel messages, because we've got plenty more to say. And as I cut the deck, Guardian Angel, someone from the other side says, hello, you are guided and protected. So I'll take that as confirmation. Also, sorry for the very shifting light. I live in the Midwest, and the Midwest is Midwesting, so the clouds have been changing a lot. It hasn't rained, but it constantly looks like it's going to, and I'm like, please, my flowers are thirsty, but also my flowers need sun, so sun, please come out. Okay, pile 2's spirit guides. What would you like pile 2 to know at this time? Yes, keep being you. What others say or do is a reflection of them, not you. Don't take anything personally. It drains your energy. Yeah, and also that's just a good practice to do in general. Because even if something is meant to be taken personally, if you don't, like, you've just totally topped that situation. Like, you've domed it into submission. Like, it literally can't affect you if you're not taking it personally. But also that's like just an empowering practice and process, because a lot of times people aren't doing things to affect you personally. They're just doing what's best for them or what works for them in that moment. And that might be not what's best for you, or it might be perceived in a way that's not real, but maybe from your insecurities instead of what's really happening. What else? Time for adventure. Turn waiting into living. Be spontaneous. Try new things. If not now, when? That's the biggest thing. Do new things. Be spontaneous. Like, you don't have to do the same thing over and over again. I feel like when I say try new things, it could be as simple as
Try going to bed in silence. Try waking up on a different side of the bed. Try going to a place in a new way. Try a new flavor of bagel. Like, it can be so small. Watch a new movie instead of a comfort movie. Read a new book instead of a book you already know. The adventures don't have to be costly ones or ones that require you to travel. Unless you want to do that and you have the means to, then do that. That's wonderful. But if you don't, you can adventure into a new world by reading a new series, or try a new meditation, or go inwards in a way where you're just receptive and see where things take you. Like, adventure is out there. Maybe Up. I mean, I feel like most people have seen Up, but maybe if you haven't seen it in a long time and forget what happens, maybe that would be helpful. Or just something new. Just do things differently. Even just shifting your routine a little bit. Like, maybe brush your teeth before doing your skincare instead of doing your skincare and then brushing your teeth. Like, even the smallest things. You never know what could emerge. Okay, what else? Be confident, shine your light, take up space. You don't need anyone's approval. You deserve to be proud of who you are. Yes, you do. And I feel like maybe for some of you, you've been hiding because you feel afraid of what people think. And maybe you are in a more fragile space. And so people's perceptions could be more impactful. And it's hard to feel confident when you don't even know what's going on within yourself, or you feel disconnected. So just know, be confident in the fact that you have no clue what's going on and that you're just doing your best. And that is radical. Not only radical, but badass. Okay, one more. Also, you should just be, and also, it's not even just about like other people's perceptions. It's also about the fact that you just deserve to be confident in the fact that you're on this journey for a reason, and your guides have brought you here for a reason, and you can do this. You already have been doing it, and you will continue to be doing it. You've got this. Also, for some of you, if you are with child, like, and I'm not saying unknowingly, I'm saying knowingly, and you're really afraid of what is ahead of you, just know that you are here. This baby picked you. And while I have never had one myself, and I am also very afraid of that process, it is okay to be afraid, but just know you can do it. And just know you will be guided and protected, and no matter what happens, like, it will be okay. And to be confident in your ability to flow with what is, to flow with your body, and know that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, you don't have to keep up appearances, and that whatever experiences you're having, like, that's okay. I swear, especially when it comes to that topic, I feel like everybody's experience is so different, and like, you really can't compare yourself, or like, but I think that happens naturally, and you might be putting pressure on yourself because I feel like people really do. But just know, like, the fact that you're literally creating life and your body is so incredibly amazing and cool. And I feel like, you know, your baby is definitely very, very excited to be with you, and is already with you, of course, but excited to, you know, be in the world with you. And like, just know that you are the perfect parent for them. And also, for those of you that want a child that do not have one yet, just know that, like, perfect time, perfect way, but also know that, like, you're already more than enough. And also, for some of you, your value, like, for all of us, you know, your value is not based on your fertility. And I know that's hard, and that's a whole other can of worms and a whole other process, but just know as well, like, your value is not in how others perceive you and your physical appearance. You know, like, bodies change, whether we birth humans in them or not. You know, we all differ, we all grow, we all age. And like, true beauty is about shining inwards and outwards, being yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself for who you are, and recognizing that ugliness has nothing to do with physical appearance and everything to do with what people project onto it, their own perceptions of it, and the way that people project their own insecurities onto you around it. Ugliness is very much more internal than it is external. And yeah, I don't know who needed to hear that, but I hope for whoever it was, it helped. But finally, we have go to nature, take a walk, have a picnic, lay on the grass, look up at the clouds, which clouds are really big for you. Yeah, like I've never done clouds before. I really got artistic with this one. So maybe watching the clouds could be something that's really enjoyable, or like I always like a lot of times when there's really fluffy like cumulus clouds, like I like to envision angels just like bouncing around on the clouds or like taking naps in them, and I don't know why, but it makes me happy. But finally, we have pause. Take a moment, close your eyes, relax your body, just breathe slowly and deeply. You may want to do that after I pull charms because that is going to be very loud. So for those of you with headphones, just a bit of a warning, pile 1 did not get one and I didn't realize that, but this might be a little bit loud. So we are just going to finish off by looking at signs and any final guidance for you. And also the mini tarot cards that come out, I'm going to take those as guides themselves or messages from guides. So pile 2, please, Spirit. Also, I'm probably going to censor the corporations on this because, you know, corporations don't deserve a free lunch. Okay. That seems good enough. Okay. Did I mention drumming in this? I really feel like look into drumming as like a spiritual drumming, or just like drumming for healing, or just playing the drums. Maybe just hitting something might feel really good. Drums seem to be really significant, but also there's something really powerful about drum beats and how they like, I don't know, I was at Stonehenge with Charlotte from Happy Souls 1111, Happy Twins 1111 a couple years ago, and for the summer solstice, and there were people playing drums, and like that was the only music, but that was all you needed. It was so fun. It was so cool. Go to Stonehenge for the summer solstice. It was such a cool experience. But dress warm. We didn't, and we suffered. We paid that price literally because we had to buy so much stuff to keep us warm. But it was still really fun. Drums in general could be significant, but also pay attention to your heartbeat. Maybe connecting to your heart is just slowing down enough that you can breathe with the rhythm of your heartbeat. And maybe listening to someone else's heartbeat, if you have someone in your life that you can do that with, might be helpful. But yeah, drum beats might be really significant. We also have a message in a bottle. So I really feel like you could be getting communication soon from someone that gives you answers, maybe whether you realize it or not. Also someone that maybe you've been waiting to hear from. I do feel like you will hear from them. Whatever needed communication you've been seeking, manifesting, or unconsciously realizing you needed, it is coming. And it's coming in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And that might manifest so differently for some of you. But if you've been wanting messages from your guides, well, hello, here's one. I hope it's been helpful. This group I've taken a bit longer than the first group, but you know what? Time isn't real anyway. So definitely know that if you're needing messages, they are coming, or if you're wanting messages, they are coming. We have the 6 of Swords here. So the fact that, that's really interesting. So we have the 6 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. So I feel like this is the same guide coming through to say it's helping you move beyond self-deception and helping you move beyond mental thought patterns that create self-sabotage, self-doubt, and deception within yourself that make you feel less confident and make you feel like you're not moving forward. The idea that you are stuck in the past or that you haven't changed already are lies. They are lies made by your mind. And not only that, but this guide, anyone that betrays you or deceives you, this guide will do everything they can to help you move forward from any past pains around that, or make you aware of it when it happens. Trust your instincts around people. Because I feel like there may be some people also that you may want to just pay attention to, like what information you're giving them. That may be easier said than done. But I definitely think that you guys are moving forward in ways that allow you a lot of mental relief. I feel like your brain can really distort the reality of what's happening around you. And this guide is here to help you move forward and have healthier thought patterns that allow you to see things more clearly, and also just make the journey, like the journey of life and evolution, less stressful. But also, if you feel called to travel to a certain place, if it's possible, definitely go. But like, you know, for example, Egypt, I was supposed to go to Egypt in 2024 and that did not work out because of, you know, everything happening, which is understandable, and I'm not upset about that, because I'd much rather there just be healing and you know, war not happening and people not being, you know, I guess I can't say those words because I'll get in trouble, but I just hope for peace. But also know that the inner wars within you, you are moving towards peace there. And if you can't go to a physical location, you still can at least look up videos from those locations. Like there are tons of walking tours on YouTube of like all different places. You can look at that stuff. You can look at travel vlogs. You can look at people. You can look at old stuff from the past. You can look at history stuff. There's so many ways that you can travel and have adventures, even if going to a physical location is inaccessible. But also, is there anything else with this guide? I feel like this guide also wants you to know that anyone that is trying to sabotage you, because I know we saw that like interference thing, I feel like some of it is not a physical person. Like some of it is just spirits that don't want your light to shine brighter because they like feeding off of your fear and emotional energy. And I feel like one thing that you need to know is that you, like, they need you way more than you need them. Well, you don't need them. You literally don't need them. And eventually, if a food source runs dry, they have to go elsewhere. So know the more you work on moving forward and work on like managing your fear, the more that things will be relaxed a little bit. The more that the less you will feel like something is trying to drain you, you will feel more like centered and grounded and peaceful. But know that this guide is helping you move forward and bringing you peace and relief, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't seem like it. When you don't know what to do, focus on creating stillness within your mind or creating mental pathways or mental narratives that are more empowering or bring you more peace. Then flow with whatever comes next. Okay. Let's see. We did the drum. Ooh, we also have a squirrel. This squirrel. Oh my gosh, I literally saw a squirrel earlier right outside my door. I was opening up my door to grab a package, and there was just this little squirrel sitting right outside and then he climbed up a tree because I kind of scared him when I opened the door, and then he climbed up on my roof. So I don't know, squirrels could be significant. They could be a sign of guides, but also we have this little acorn and it has a little pearl on it. So know that there's already so much wisdom from the process that you're in, and there's value in this process right now. Oh, that makes me think of Up. Because the dog, you know, he gets distracted by squirrels. And maybe one of the things that this is saying is to not brush away distractions. Like if you shame yourself for getting caught up in a distraction, maybe there's value in that distraction. Maybe there's something there for you, or maybe it would just bring you a moment of levity that you needed. But also know that you've already been planting seeds, and it takes a while for an acorn to become a big old tree. But just know that you're already doing it, and you're continuing to, the more you flow with this process. We also have the 50-cent euro. And oh, there's a horse on this. There is a horse on this. So once again, confirmation of the horse. Shout out to my horse girls, horse guys, horse people out there. The number 5 or 50 could be significant. Maybe there is a 50-cent song that is significant, or maybe this is confirmation if you are in Europe or the European Union. I think this is pre-Brexit because I think the UK is up there. But, you know, Western Europe or European Union, that could be significant if you're there, or maybe a place that you're interested in going to or interested in learning about is there. But also, what is this? Money, honey. So just know that these changes are leading to more prosper, like more abundance internally. And I think that will lead to more abundance externally, which could also transfer into more financial abundance. But also, I think that more than anything, this is a sign to know that you will be taken care of. You may need to be strategic, especially if these changes require you to work less or require you to shift how you're working or require you to like do things differently. You might need to make changes, but just know that as long as you are staying realistic and practical about what works, obviously not to the point of suppression. I'm also seeing a cardinal outside my window. He is chilling on a branch, and I think he just ate a leaf. Cardinals could be a sign. I love cardinals. He is so handsome, and I bet you are handsome as well. So unless you prefer the term beautiful, then I bet you're beautiful. Anywho, money, honey. See your value, see your worth, and know that these changes are bringing more value, but you might be in a situation where you might be experiencing restriction for a little while, and that is leading to more. So if you are in that, I would be willing to bet that a lot of you are already experiencing that. And just know, like, obviously, it is a lot easier said than done to not be stressed out about that. So it's completely okay if you just need time and, like, do what you can to support yourself through that process and not fall into it in ways that make it worse than it already is. But just know that you are being supported and you will have enough. You will make it through, and you might need, and if you need to make changes or be strategic, you will know that. And if you're really just worrying from a place of habit or from a place of uncertainty, just know that everything will be okay and you will be taken care of. You're smart, you're resourceful, and you're a creator being. You've got this. We also have Leo and generous. So number one, trust in the generous nature of the universe and trust in your own generosity. Like, if you need to pull back for your well-being, don't feel like that's a lack of generosity. But also, your guides are generous. The fact that we have Leo energy here, it once again reminds me of that reading, that Who Has Their Eye on You reading. Leo energy came out in that. And you really are meant to shine. And one of the things you can always be generous of is spirit, by just being yourself, by tapping into yourself, by shining your light. And I feel like this guide is here to help you do that, is here to help you trust in your own inner light more, to trust in yourself, and know that your guides in the universe is generous and they want to bless you. And sometimes we might interpret blessings as, oh, that's always more. Sometimes we are blessed with less so that we can shift, clear, and then receive more, or receive what we actually needed instead of what we didn't need. I definitely think in general, though, life is so much more than material things, which this talks about, and they want you to know that you have enough material. Like, you will have enough materially. If you do not have enough right now, I feel like they're going to help you with what you need. Like, obviously, if you're focused on survival needs, don't be afraid to, like, reach out for help, like, find those resources, but also just know that, like, you won't be there forever. But also, like, if that's just something you experience in your past, you know, that can be a hard thing to let go of, even if you're not in that position anymore. So be gentle and patient with yourself throughout that process, and just know that, like, you're never being punished for how you deal with that. You're never being judged by your guides for how you deal with that. And anyone human that does judge you for that, you know, they should recognize that they're really lucky that they've never been in a position where they've had to think that way. And just know that, like, your value and your worth is not tied to what's in your bank account or, you know, where you come from. It's tied to what your character is and who you are, at the end of the day, what's in your heart. And we also have this little strawberry. So strawberries could be significant. Maybe some of you are craving strawberries. Maybe there's nutrients in strawberries that could be significant to you. Or maybe if you have a garden or something, you're being encouraged to grow strawberries. It's also made me think of strawberry shortcake. They kind of look like my nails. Strawberries, if there's any significant meanings to strawberries that you know of, feel free to write them down or comment them. Now, the time is now, and I feel like that is just extra confirmation of when you don't know what to do. Tune in. Listen to yourself. What is now asking of you, or what can you do now? Don't be focused on the past. Don't be focused on the future. Don't be focused on an hour ago. Don't be focused on yesterday. I did see some guidance online that I thought was really cool, where it encouraged people to time out their day into quarters, so that, like, if, you know, let's say the very beginning of your day really sucks, then, oh, that quarter might have sucked, but we've got the next 3 quarters to change things around, or something like that. If that doesn't work for you, discard it. But we also have fly to you. So once again, like, what you're needing is flying to you. I feel like you guys could be getting a physical letter or communication. Maybe someone is coming to see you or coming to visit you, and that could be exciting news or something that you have to look forward to. And I feel like if you guys are planning on visitors, don't pressure yourself to be over the top. Like, they're coming to visit you, not to, like, judge your surroundings or be doted on. They're here to hang out with you. You know, don't pressure yourself to the point where you can't be as present and enjoy their company as you'd like. But paper airplanes, could be significant. That airplane song with B.O.B. in it, that could be significant. But also know that you're already becoming the person you've dreamed of being, and you're also becoming something you could have never imagined, but you will fall in love with and realize like, oh, they were always you. This was always who you were meant to be. This is always who you were meant to become. It's just right now you're in the cocoon, in that process of growth and change. But finally, we have, if you must choose between two evils, pick the one you've never tried before. So like I said about trying new things and doing things differently, try new stuff. We also have 4, 56, 12, 45, 50, 54. Lots of fives, which fives are all about change. And finally, we have do what you wish as long as it does not harm anyone. And know that the difference between real harm and perceived harm. If someone is upset that you're not giving them all your time and energy, that is not real harm. That is a personal responsibility of theirs to manage their expectations and not take things personally. Real harm is like, you know the difference between real harm and someone trying to make you feel guilty. So don't stop something just because someone else who is fully capable of taking care of themselves isn't happy with it. But the numbers there we have are 28, 1, 7, 23, 47, 52. And if there's any repeating numbers, y'all can comment them down below. And if you got any messages from these charms I didn't, feel free to comment them as well. Someone else could really benefit from seeing them. So pile 2, whew. This is quite a reading. It does not matter how short I make these. The message is going to come out for as long as it needs to take. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, because that is honestly what I need to be allowed to continue doing these readings and to support myself. So thank you to everyone who's doing that, because I am making changes right now that are requiring me to be a little bit needed to be a little bit strategic and practical. But it's in the hopes that we get to do more things and grow together. So I'm actually really excited. So thank you guys so much for letting my ads play, because that is literally the most helpful way you can support me. Obviously, mute them, don't watch them, do something else more interesting. I'm not a monster. I do not expect you to watch them. But yeah, thank you to those who just let them play. If you'd like to support me in other ways, liking this video is super helpful. Thank you to those who do. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. Shout out to my notification squad if you want me to see your comments. I usually see comments when I first upload. I'm trying to be more responsive than I have been in the past. I am accepting the fear that comes with having an open forum, but you guys are so wonderful, and honestly, like, I want to interact with you guys as much as I can, and, you know, just show appreciation for you showing up and saying hi. Thank you so much for doing that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, candles, code ASO10, other videos, especially videos with extendeds. You can check out my my social media, which I'm not really using, but I should. I don't know. Instagram is a lot, and I'm also terrified of TikTok. Maybe that's where I need to grow. You can also check out my merch. I think that's it though. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. Thank you for holding out till the end of this reading. You are a badass. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much to you and your guides for being here and for letting me read for you. I hope you will have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Crystal Agate Daisy and this Inner Peace card, this is going to be your reading on urgent messages from your guides. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro, but I've just been starting with this card that you picked for each group. So I definitely feel like you have a feminine and masculine guide that are coming through really strongly, that are working together to help you balance your own energy and also help you embody energetic androgyny, which is not meant to be in a more gendered state, but rather you're just meant to have, you are both energies. You're both yin and yang, and the balance of those might be different all the time, but essentially you are in a constant state of flux, and that's okay. I'm also thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of the greatest shows to ever be created, ever. And it makes me think of the two fish, the yin and yang fish, and Yue, who became the moon. you know, and maybe there have been things in your life that have been really tough, and I might need to tell you that's rough, buddy, and I'm sorry if that has happened. But these guides came to you today because maybe you've prayed for guidance or wanted to connect with your guides. Maybe this reading showed up as a way to be an answer, because I feel like these guides are hard to understand if you're not able to be silent or understand feeling. So I feel like these guides communicate most effectively when you are in a place of stillness to be receptive to messages, which can be hard. You might need to practice learning how to still the mind. That is a skill. The mind is a muscle, and it will not, like, I mean, I don't think literally, but like it can be trained the way a muscle can. And also, I feel like these guides communicate most effectively through feeling. And so if you're stuck in your head or trying to receive a message visually or receive a message, auditorily, it might be that you need to it might be that you need to feel instead of look for it in different ways. But also I'm thinking about the fact that sound is kind of muffled in water, so it's like speech maybe wouldn't be the most effective way of their getting their message across. Maybe I'm here to help with that. But it also makes me think, if you've ever seen Pitch Perfect, the cinematic classic from the early 2010s, I'm pretty sure there's a character named Lily who is very, very, very quiet, but says like really insane, violent things. I don't think these guides are saying insane, violent things, but I do think that they are quiet. And it takes listening to hear what they're saying. I feel like they're trying to help you, but it's like you might be missing those messages or feel like they're not listening, or it's falling, or they're ignoring you, or you're doing something wrong, and they're not. They're literally just trying to communicate with you the best that they can. But it may take some work to learn their communication style and what is effective. So if you're not used to getting into your emotional body, it will be really hard to hear them. Or if you're used to messages coming to you in flashes or being really loud or being really out there, these guys are definitely here to help you learn to perceive in new ways and get guidance in new ways that you haven't before. Or if you're like, I don't even know if I believe in spirit guides, that's okay. But the messages you're trying to receive from the universal wisdom out there in the world may not be heard if you use the traditional ways you've always done it. However, there's also a message here about the fact that if you are under the belief that peace will come to you once you achieve a thing, or once you get to this place, or once you reach this age, or once you reach this milestone, they are here to let you know that you are mistaken. And that, in fact, inner peace is not dependent on an outcome, an achievement, a state of being. Well, inner peace is a state of being, but it's a state of being that's a lot harder to access if we believe that it's outside of us and that we must earn it, or that we must get somewhere in order to feel it, because it is always accessible to you. And a lot of times the first step to getting there is accepting where you're at and being at peace with whatever chaos is within you. Sometimes inner peace is not literally about stillness. It can be about just accepting what's going on and what's flowing through you and what you're experiencing. And I feel like these two guides are here to say that you're doing great, and there's really no reason for you to beat yourself up. That has kind of been a message throughout all of the readings. But if you're trying to create a lot of change in your external world, if you're trying to manifest more money, manifest a different opportunity, trying to find love, find romantic love, or, move to a different place, or, if you're really focused on external achievements, they're helping you with that. These external achievements will be achieved through inner peace and through energetic shifts in your process. We also hear a siren, and I always take sirens as Archangel Michael saying hi, so Archangel Michael could be significant. But also, if there is a message that you need to know, you will receive it. So if you're getting nothing and even trying to listen and that's not working, as the sun is coming out, know that like if there is something you need to know in order for you to move forward on your path, that message will not miss you. And if anything, these guides are not here to like frustrate you or cause you setbacks. They're here to help you learn and get stronger, and show you new ways of understanding perceptions and interpreting that stimuli in ways that make sense to you and give you the answers you're looking for. So let's go ahead and see what else we have here. So we have 888. This is a powerful manifestation time, a time of abundance. Your life purpose, goals, and dreams are supported by the universe. You are about to be rewarded. Absolutely. And this is one of those things, like if you've been feeling like you're never going to feel good enough, or first of all, don't put never in front of anything like that, because that's not true. But also, I feel like a lot of the things that you are like, for example, it's like, I need this much in my bank account before I'm going to feel okay. You might feel a lot better once that is there, but you can feel good now in the process of getting it there. I feel like this is a lot about you recognizing that creating or manifesting from a place of lack is always going to be less powerful than creating from a space of true inner abundance, true knowingness, true peace. Not only are you going to be more centered, but you're also going to be aware of how you're creating is in alignment with you, because sometimes we can manifest from a place of not feeling good enough, or from a place of feeling like we need something in order to feel good. And then you might realize that what you're creating is different, or you might have even stronger convictions in what you're creating and realizing it's not out of reach. It's in fact very much in reach. Actually, the process of cultivating inner peace is meant to show you the process of manifestation in general. Oftentimes you must feel and think and bring it in ways before it is tangibly here, and act as if it's here, or act in ways that help ground it. And before you know it, there it is. We also have sacred boundaries. We have safe. That looks like Patrick's star. And we have Ingwas, gestation and internal growth. So I'm going to go ahead and get started while I am shuffling your tarot cards. So if you are feeling, like I said, this calling and this urge, like you need to get things done, things have to happen right now. Obviously in life there are things that we just have to do and need to get done. But whatever you're trying to create, your dreams, your purpose, your goals, whatever you feel passionate about, whatever you're deeply desiring, the universe is showing you how to get there, and it's starting with you. And you're in a powerful, powerful new beginning. I guess it's kind of an ending and a beginning. And it's one where you are, this time around, you're creating on your own terms. And if you have manifested from a place of fear, from a place of lack, or from a place of wanting to feel good enough, and you got it, you did the things, and you realized, oh, this didn't make me feel complete, or this didn't make me feel fulfilled, or this didn't make me feel whole. The universe and your guides are helping you find that wholeness within, to realize you never needed these things to make you whole. You could literally do absolutely nothing and exist and be fulfilled and whole about it. I guess unless you like weren't taking care of your basic needs. Aside from that, if you're doing that, you could literally be feeling good and whole and fulfilled. And I feel like the universe really wants you to understand that, because not only will it make what you're creating more powerful, but it will also ensure that what you're manifesting, what you're creating for your future, is in alignment with your values and in alignment with what's beneficial for you. It allows you to know what you truly want. So there's no be careful what you wish for type energy. You know what I mean? Not only that, though, there's also this message about external things being a way to have others see you as more legitimate, or get more acceptance and approval from others. And your guides don't want you to go through the hard work of cultivating these things unless you truly want it, but also because it's not like their acceptance is not going to feel good. It's not going to make you feel accepted. If anything, you're going to realize, oh man, I did all of this for acceptance or for approval, and I don't feel any better, and that feels worse. what they're doing is showing you how to accept yourself, how to have approval for yourself, how to find peace with who you are, who you're becoming, who you once were, and recognize that you can protect that. You can not only cultivate a state of inner tranquility, it might take practice and a willingness to set boundaries, but you don't need anyone's approval. And when you're not focused on how you're perceived, that allows you to be a lot more creative and divinely inspired about what occurs and what you do create, because you're creating for you. You're creating for what excites you. You're creating for what you're dreaming, not somebody else's dream that you feel you need to accomplish or you feel you should do, and then maybe others will accept you more. If you accept yourself, no lack of acceptance from others can ever stop you or make you feel like you're not good enough or make you feel like you have to earn it, because you'll realize, I don't need your acceptance. I don't need your approval. And people that think you do, well, they've got their own journey to go on. But while I'm shuffling, if you guys end up enjoying this reading or already are, thank you for leaving me a like, which I mean, I think you should like for this very powerful, strong shuffling. Because yes, I am very strong, and putting up with the pain the cardstock causes on my little fingers. So thank you to everyone who does that. Obviously, commenting is really helpful. I love to hear from you guys. Subscribing if you want to. Also very helpful. Thank you to those who do that. Anyway, let's go ahead and go deeper into this, because I can just feel that there is a lot that they want to say to you. But there is this key word here of regeneration. There is, like, you are not linear. I mean, maybe your physical life is literally linear, but in so many ways it's not. Like, okay, let's just get your tarot cards out. Okay, pile number 3, Spirit, what? Pile number 3's guides, what messages do you have for pile number 3 that you would like them to know? So we have the Magician, literally coming underneath the powerful time of manifestation. What else? Spirit, what else would you like pile 3 to know? We have the 9 of Wands in reverse. What else? We have the Star in reverse. What else? What else would pile number 3's guys, what would you like pile 3 to know? We have the King of Wands upright, beautiful. And one more, please, Spirit. We have the Hermit upright, beautiful. Okay, so this is a massive message about putting yourself first, but not in a way that is like, that you might deem as like selfish, but rather this is necessary and important for you to continue creating what you want your future to look like, and also the person you want to be. If you are somebody who's like, I just want to wake up and feel good, there are a lot of important boundaries that need to be set in order to make that happen. And your guides are actually encouraging you to spend more time on your own and carve out time to listen to your inner voice. If you have trouble with stillness, if you have trouble with slowing the mind down, my biggest suggestion is find somewhere in nature where you can be by yourself. Obviously, be safe. But if you can go to a pond or a lake or a river or an ocean, if you can go to an ocean, you better go to an ocean. You got to go to the ocean for me, because I'm jealous that you can go to the ocean, because I love the ocean. And I live in the Midwest. We don't have the ocean. I got the river, which I like the river. But it's full of DuPont chemicals. And honestly, I'm shocked I haven't grown a tail from swimming in it when I was young. But water's water. And even if you don't have access to any water around you, maybe even get like a little fountain, like a little meditation fountain, like, or play the sound of running water. That's free. You can get that. Maybe go pee first. Go piss, girl. Go pee first. That's a meme. I don't think that you're a girl. I mean, you could be one, but anyway.
you are in a powerful process right now where it is very important that you take time to listen to yourself and be able to hear yourself, to be able to cultivate sacred space within you, because that is the space from which you create. That is the space from which you regenerate. That is the space from which you go to find nourishment and fulfillment. And of course, those things exist outside of you. But when you don't have that established within you, it's a lot easier to get involved with things, ideas, activities, behaviors that are not fulfilling, but rather draining. And although they might be stimulating, they might be entertaining, they may not be nurturing and nourishing to what you're trying to cultivate and create. So this message from your guides is a lot about getting focused on what you're trying to create, which I think a big thing is inner peace, and just a sense of like patience with the process and just finding peacefulness within you. There are many things in this world that will take you from that peace. I can give you an example that I did today. The first thing that I did when I woke up, which is absolutely shameful, is that I got on Reddit. Why? Because my brain likes the dopamine. And because I don't have an account, I just like to see what's on there. You know, like I pretty much only see what's on the popular page or what I search. You know what the first freaking article I saw was? It was about microplastics and how they're in salad and like everywhere, which like we knew that, but it was just like really dark. And I woke up being like, oh man, there's so many microplastics in me. And I've been feeling good about the amount of salad I've been eating, because well, I do love salad, but also, you know, just eating better and making healthier choices. And I'm like, great. And I still get plastic with it. And it is like, honestly, like such bullshit that we have to live in a world that is so polluted and all this stupid shit that we can't control. There's a lot of stupid shit we can't control, and a lot of stupid shit that we can't control. And if we let stupid shit that we can't control us, it's going to make it a lot harder for us to achieve our goals. Microplastics are there. There's nothing we can do about it, right? And so I had to really check myself and be like, girl, you drink diet Dr. Pepper like all the time. Well, not all the time, but more than I should. Like, you cannot avoid being poisoned. Like, there's poisons all around us. Just focus on doing what you can to be healthy and release it. Hopefully someone comes along that finds ways to filter these out, or we'll live with the consequences. There's really nothing else we can do, because big plastic has their shiny plastic fingers on a chokehold on all of us, right? We can't help it. But that's just one of the many things. There are tons of horrors and horrible things, and also just minorly irritating things and shitty things that are occurring around us all the time that we can't control, that make us lose our faith in humanity, that make us just not want to try, that make us want to isolate. And this is the universe giving you permission to do that. You can isolate, not to unhealthy means, obviously. Make sure you have some connection, but I think it is time to filter out, and I'll do this with you because I also need to do it, filter out a lot of external opinion and a lot of external noise, because it's not helping you. If anything, it is harming your ability to create, and it's creating threats and stressors that you wouldn't be considering if you weren't consuming or opening yourself up to that information. So I, for one, have been telling myself for a while I need to purge the Reddit demon, but sometimes there's just really funny things on there and I find it interesting. But there are other times where I get really irritated because I'm like, this is obviously fake, or you did this for attention, or blah, 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 blah. And then people are allowed to do things for attention or post fake things. It's a stupid social media site. And who am I to be the judge of what should be on a social media site? There's lots of social media sites out there. And a lot of them, I don't even have I can't even handle it anymore. It's too much. It's too much noise. It's too much stimuli. And there's so much thought and opinion and information. And if you're energetically sensitive, which I think some of you are, you could pick up on that. Or just get distracted. Or just feel insecure about something. Because it's literally designed to make you feel insecure and drain your energy. That's just one example. Watching the news on TV, or listening intently to your negative coworker that has a doom and gloom story every single day. There are so many ways in which the outer world will test our patience, and there are so many things that we cannot control that will remind us of the fact that humanity is so flawed. And there's also a lot of things that want you to feel ashamed. Ashamed of being human, ashamed of wanting more for yourself, ashamed of having success, ashamed of feeling good in a world that is on fire. The world has always been on fire, for the record, and it will continue to be. And we actually need people to know how to feel good, how to fill their own cups, and to find peace, because it's those people that are usually the best at finding solutions and making powerful impacts that make the world a little bit better and put out some of the fire. So that's where you're at. Your guys are really encouraging you to crack down and get more militant on what you put into your mind, body, and spirit. So one example that I'm going to give for those of you that, are into hooking up with people, that's fine. But pay attention to who those people are. If you feel drained after seeing them, if you don't feel good about yourself, going into or letting them into your body, that is a very intimate thing. And I am of the personal belief that that is an example of something where if you are doing that with someone who doesn't uplift you, someone who doesn't make you feel good, someone who makes you feel insecure or drained or anything of the above, that is an example of where you might want to be like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should be more discerning about who I connect with in that way. I'm not shaming in any way. Like, do what you want to do. But, you might want to be just a little bit more conscientious of who that is. You're exchanging energy with someone in a very intimate way. Another thing, food, the type of food you're eating. Even if you're eating, well, we clearly can't avoid pesticides and plastics and all that shit, but it might make you feel better than just outright processed food. But sometimes maybe you need some processed food, Sometimes a hot Cheeto bag is just going to make you feel better than a salad would, and that's okay. This is not about being perfect or about being like, I know I just said being militant, but militant in ways that support you, not in ways that make your human reality unenjoyable. Like, you need to have a little sweet treat sometimes. You need to let yourself enjoy the Diet Dr. Pepper, right? We can't avoid being poisoned. Like, even if we try to avoid them, we're still going to get them anyway. This is more about recognizing what is within your control and what you can do to shift things. So another thing, media diet. That is very important. That is something that I'm also slacking on, that I pinky promise I will work on if you promise to work on it as well. I do work on it, and then I get tired of doing it because sometimes I just want to see silly memes, or sometimes I just want to know what other people think about something. And a lot of times I'm not satisfied with it, and then I get sucked into rabbit holes that I was never seeking out. And then 2 hours have passed, and I'm like, I didn't get anything done. And now I feel irritated and frustrated and kind of tired, and my eyes are tired. And now I don't want to do anything. These things, especially social media, especially like the media in general, it is tailor-made to enrage you, drain you, make you feel helpless, make you feel powerless, and make you feel so overwhelmed with the state of the world that you can't do anything about it. It's supposed to make you feel shame and guilt. It is meant to disconnect you and make you fearful. That is something you should be militant with. And with everything and everyone, whenever it's not serving you, whenever it's not supporting you, set boundaries with it. This sacred boundaries, and what your guides are saying is you need to look at everything you're intaking, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Is it uplifting you? Is it adding to your peace? Is it adding to the quality of your life, or is it taking it away? They're very real things. Like, and a lot of these things, the scary thing is that they're designed to be addictive, and it takes work and effort, and it's challenging oftentimes to set boundaries with it, to curb it, to reduce it. But if part of why you don't have inner peace is because of these things that you are attached to or even addicted to, there's the first place to start looking at that. Because, and the sad thing is that it reduces a lot of what you can take in, like media wise, you might have to read, like, there's nothing wrong with reading more books, but like a lot of things that seem innocent might subtly drain you, and you might have to be like, okay, if I'm being honest, like I might like the chaos of this, or I might like, my brain might enjoy the dopamine I get from this, but I don't feel good. I don't feel uplifted. I don't feel at peace.
If anything, I feel tired or I feel distracted. And life might be kind of boring. That is good, because boredom is where creativity begins. Boredom is where you finally get space to find solutions you couldn't think about when you were catastrophizing about something that you have no control over. Your guides are wanting you to know that you will feel disconnected. That's part of the reason why I've struggled to let go of, like, I'm not on most social media, even though I should be. It's literally my job, but it stresses me out and it doesn't make me feel good. And I like really don't want to be a part of the ecosystem, but I'm like, I don't know, I got to figure that out for myself. But when you nope out of it, you lose a lot of connection, because a lot of connection is shifted online, right? So you will be feeling kind of disconnected, and it probably will feel lonely and kind of boring. Don't let that stop you. If anything, find ways and find solutions to accept that boredom, or learn to tolerate the boredom for longer. You know, maybe you do need to get a little social media dopamine fix, but train yourself to accept 15 minutes of boredom, 20 minutes of boredom, build upwards. Because the reality is that you've always been capable of cultivating what you've been wanting, and you've already done so much. Like, I feel like, first of all, you need to give yourself credit for how far you've come and how much you've already achieved in your life. But I feel like crossing the threshold from where you've been to this new level, like up leveling, is requiring more of you, that it feels like a stretch, and it probably feels scary. And it seems like you've been able to achieve or reach certain expectations or standards while still being able to maintain a level of environmental interference, emotional, energetic interference, volatility, disconnection from self. And now that's not working anymore. And that's actually a really good thing, because this is allowing you to actually get grounded and centered and focused more deeply and effectively than you ever have before. All the things that you've been saying to yourself for years that you know you need to change, you know you need to do differently, now is the time to be it instead of know it, because knowing and being are two different things. And being is a lot harder than knowing, because it requires you to have the discipline to accept the discomfort that comes with that, because change is not easy, and it is hard to be disconnected from the outer world, but there's also a lot of benefits to it. Did you hear about XYZ? No, I didn't. I was outside chilling in the forest. And then maybe someone else will be like, you know what, that sounds really nice. Can I go with you? And then you guys can enjoy the forest together. Because a lot of that connection, truthfully, isn't very meaningful. Like, even these social media sites that like purport to connect us with each other have completely eroded any connectivity to people we know in the outside world in favor of corporate and outside influences. It's all about money. It's all business, and it's sad. Like, you don't even really see your friends. You just see random stuff that, you know, you don't necessarily want to see or might be entertaining, but you miss out on so much about other people. And it's like, everything is so angry and negative. Well, not everything. There's really wonderful, positive people on the internet, and I hope I've been one of them for you. But like, also, you know, there are also you can even just, it doesn't mean you have to get off social media entirely. You can just maybe be more discerning about who you listen to, about who you let in to your mind and energy. And just be more discerning about, is this aligning with the version of myself I'm becoming? Does this make me feel good? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, does this make me feel good? Like, does this nourish me in some way? Does it nourish my mind? Does it nourish my heart? One mind-nourishing lady that I've been watching, her name is Sarah Payne. I think her name is Sarah Payne. She's a historian, and she's fantastic, and she's hosted on someone else's channel. I think his name is, I know his last name is Partel, and I think his first name starts with a D. I can't remember what his name is though. But I'm sure you will come across her if you're interested in history. If you're not interested in history, then I may not be able to help you. But that's just like one example. There are like uplifting, nourishing things on the internet, but you might have to put in more effort to seek out those sources. But for me, for example, I could probably have like a better relationship with Reddit if I had an account and interacted, or, you know, had specific communities. But I don't want to do that because it's first of all, I feel like that site in general is really negative. And second, I feel like that doesn't, I just want to purge it from my psyche entirely. I need to be clean. That's like my worst addiction, honestly. Sometimes I could just go in there and I just love reading what other people think about stuff. Like, it's just interesting to me, but it doesn't make me feel good. And it takes me away from what I can hear. It takes me away from hearing myself and what I think about things. And I hope that, like, for some of you, you can relate or understand. Like, I'm only sharing this because I hope it's useful, and I want you to understand, like, this is so much easier said than done. And, like, I, just as much as you, have to work on that myself. And I just want you to know, like, these things that you're being asked to do, they're not easy, and they're a little bit scary, but they're not impossible. And also, I feel like the more we convince ourselves things are not that hard, the easier they feel. And I think the hardest thing is just going to be finding ways to connect that are uplifting and nourishing. That takes creativity and a willingness to try new things. But the biggest thing is that your process of creation and manifestation moving forward is about creating from a place of inner peace, inner trust, love, safety, and patience. And so this combination is going to be lethal, but lethal in a great way. Lethal in a way that kills the distractions that once thwarted your progress. Lethal in a way that gives you such a iron focus on what you're wanting that you bring in shit like you've never believed. And I don't mean shit in a bad way, I mean shit in a good way. You're bringing in like experiences, feelings, money, whatever you're trying to create, romantic love, like whatever you're trying to create, you're getting more of it. And not only that, but realizing how you can build your life in ways that nourish these things that you're creating, so that they're not just manifestations you have for a time, but rather foundations that you build upon, so that you can create things that you didn't even fathom were possible for you. You have a powerful vision, and the fact that we have the King of Wands here, you are deeply connected to your spiritual team and the spiritual realms. If anything, the guides that you've been more connected to, even if you don't believe in spirit guides, like, you definitely have a powerful intuition and the ability to connect to universal information that is useful for your journey. You have the ability to connect to that, but it's easy for your conscious mind to doubt it. And it's easy for you to, I feel like one of the things that has happened is you've leaned on certain responses within you, or certain like ways of listening to the universe that have maybe helped you take a lot of action or get a lot of momentum, but it might leave you feeling exhausted, or it might be less sustainable because it's dependent on getting these loud answers or having bursts of motivation or energies that help carry you. The guides that are coming through are meant to help you create from a more gentle and relaxed place where you can get things done just as quickly, if not even faster, from this place, but also realize that it's not all about getting things done. It makes me think of, like, if you've ever played The Sims, a lot of the fun gets taken out when your Sims have everything you wanted them to have. And it's just like, okay, well, now what? Like, usually at that point, it's not even really fun anymore. Like, a lot of the fun was getting them out of the struggle, or getting them into the new place, or working, you know, so hard, or getting them to this place in their career. And it's like, oh, well, we're here, now what? And luckily, you're not a sim, you're a person. Unless you believe in the simulation theory, which, who knows, maybe we are, but I would say we're much more complex sims than our sims. So you're meant to be more than that. You're meant to create from a deeper place than that. With the Magician being here, the Magician manifests and creates from a place that not only uses spiritual energy, but he also uses fire, water, earth, and air. His mental resources, his physical resources, his emotional resources, and spiritual resources, or energetic resources. You know how to manifest with spirit, but I think that you are learning how to manifest with earth, with emotion, and from a different state of being. I feel like panic and stress and urgency have been forces of momentum that have allowed you to get to where you are. But I think even you know yourself that's not sustainable, and the universe is trying to get you to understand that there are different ways to do things, and I think you even know that. But it's really hard to actually get into a place where that becomes, if not natural, doable. And that's what you're meant to do. The fact that we have the Nine of Wands here, there is a shifting that needs to occur with your boundaries and with what works for you. With the Nine of Wands, I think there's a lot of resistance to internal connection. Maybe because you've kind of just neglected your internal connection, or because you're resistant to types of states of being that the universe is asking you, like for example, stillness. Maybe you're really resistant to that. It might be really uncomfortable for your brain, especially your brain. Might be really boring, or you might get really frustrated easily because you can't just make your mind still. And, you know, for example, if you are exercising for the first time, it's really frustrating to not be able to run as fast as others, or, you know, sustain a plank longer than 20 seconds. But that in of itself is just where you're starting. You know, consistency allows you to learn how to make your mind still, or how to maintain that stillness for longer, because it's impossible to truly like have your mind be still all the time. Like our minds be having thoughts, and even when you're maintaining stillness, you're gonna have thoughts arise. It's about accepting them and releasing them. One thing that I like to do, I'll give you this little tip. I've said this before, but I picture my thoughts as donuts, and I picture Homer Simpson being inside my brain and eating all the donuts. And then I find that there's almost this like relief, the same way when you're doing an exercise and you finally relax, like the relief of not putting that heat and pressure and strain on your muscles. It's like the same thing with your brain. And if you're used to your brain going a mile a minute, or being chaotic, or always having a thought going through your head, you will feel the same type of relief that you get when you relax a muscle after straining it or working it for a long time. And it feels good, and good in a way where you're like, oh, I like this. Like, it feels like I can exhale. It feels like my brain can exhale. And you're not allowed to use neurodivergence as an excuse. I'm neurodivergent too. Every brain is possible. It is possible to train your unique brain in the ways that work for you. You might have to find different solutions. You might have to find things that are supportive for your type of neurodivergence. But stillness for you, and whatever that is, maybe it's not entirely still. Maybe it's like 90% still. Maybe it's a gentle fluid motion, like a lazy river at a water park, you know? Maybe stillness is the concept of water falling from a fountain. It might be moving, but it's creating a sense of stillness. So like, for example, maybe you're not meant to sit in meditation. Maybe meditation needs to be a walking experience for you. Maybe you need to do something that turns your mind off, like cleaning, or something that doesn't require a lot of conscious thought, but more fluid action. What works for you it might be different from other people, and it might require some trial and error. But the thing is here is I feel like you're failing, and that you've reached your peak, or reached your limit of what you can achieve, or how far you go. And the universe is like, no, this is only the beginning. Like with this star being here, you can have the type of life that you feel like is out of reach for you. A life where you wake up and feel good. A life where you can protect your peace and actually keep it safe. A life where your vulnerabilities are not, what's the right word? They're not exposed to things that would harm you. Even with your vulnerabilities, you know how to keep yourself safe. So there's no way for things that would throw you off your path, or, you know, get you stuck in an energy you don't want to be in, or make you feel powerless or hopeless. It's not going to be able to get to you in the same way. And let's be real. There are going to be times where your boundaries get crossed. There are going to be times where you're going to have to do uncomfortable things to set those boundaries. There are going to be times where you don't listen to them and you pay the price. And the thing is more often than not, it's not going to be that bad. It's just going to be a reminder of, oh, this is an experience I don't enjoy. I should choose differently next time. Be gentle with yourself in that process. The process of internal growth is one that does not happen in a day. It is a constant evolution, yes, but you are in a powerful, powerful, powerful ass stage right now. And it's hard because you can't see the results of this yet, but you will feel the results of them, which is why this is so important that like these guides are coming through, because they're like, bro, you're gonna hear us in feeling, you're gonna hear us when you're quiet. Because I feel like there are times where the world around you is so noisy, it's almost impossible for you to hear yourself. And so it's up to you to find ways, you know, to make the world quiet. If that is putting your phone in the other room, if that is turning off all the lights, if that is finding earplugs and doing what you can to like locking yourself in a closet with a way to get out, of course, to get that, like, that's actually what I do. When I want to meditate, I put myself in a dark closet because any visual stimuli makes it hard for me to focus. So like that's one thing that helps me. But even then, even without that, you know, noises might distract you, other things might distract you, and you might need a more chaotic environment in order to feel stillness. Maybe you need to listen, maybe being in the middle of a city, sitting on a bench, maybe that is the sort of external noise you need in order to get into stillness for yourself. What works for others may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for others. And the frustrating, challenging part is figuring out what does and what doesn't and making adjustments when necessary. But the thing that is most important is that you look at what you believe, because what you believe dictates your entire reality. And oh my God, I'm having such intense PTSD right now. No, oh my God, not PTSD. Oh my God, not PTSD. Deja vu. I don't know why I said, like, I didn't mean to say that at all. That was the wrong word. Oh my God, that was the wrong word. But also, I guess if you have that, you may need certain things or certain supports, or may need to like find solutions like that I may not have to give you. But also maybe a diagnosis like that. Maybe some of you have that and need a sort of diagnosis that can help you and support you. Maybe you need to look at people that have resources that can help you with that. But like PTSD is an excellent example of something that makes it hard to get out of survival mode, that makes it hard to have a relaxed nervous system. You know, that is something that it's not easy, and it takes time and effort to heal. And sometimes it is something that is recurring or something that you have to learn to live with. But also what you believe around that, I do think is important. You know, I think that whatever is doable for you is where you're meant to be. If you can't achieve perfect stillness and perfect peace all the time, that's okay. And if you can't ever achieve that, that's also okay. This is more so about achieving enough so that you can get grounded, you can get clear, find safety in your body. I was saying that I have deja vu, not PTSD. But I feel like that came out because maybe some of you have that, and I do not have the tools to like help you through that and give you the proper guidance. And I also do not want to sit here and pretend like I do. I was just shocked at the fact that I had deja vu and said a much different word for whatever reason, because I've like seen this before, and I'm like, and when I saw it, I was in the last place I was, and now this vision makes complete sense. It was just really cool. And I feel like you see things before they happen. And I feel like one of the biggest things is that you know certain things are meant to happen, but you don't know how to get there because you don't feel safe enough to start. And the thing is the last place that I was in, I don't know if you guys have noticed that I've been uploading more if you watch me, and for some of you, you might be like, I don't care, I just want the reading. Then fast forward and quit being a fucking curmudgeon. This is my fucking channel. I can say what I want. I was in fight or flight mode all the time. My nervous system was in such a place of stress that I didn't even realize how much I was struggling. And it would take everything in me just to get videos out. Not because I didn't enjoy them, but because of just like the lack of safety I felt in myself, the lack of safety I felt in where I was living. I was in the wrong place for me. And not only that, but I got really complacent and completely invalidated the things that were going on with me internally because I was focused on, well, I need to get things done. I need to get things out. I'm failing. And I can really relate with panic and the fire under your butt being the thing that helps you get things done, because otherwise nothing else will. Maybe this reading is a little bit meant for me too. and I have to watch it back and see what it says, because a lot of times I don't even remember what I say, which is why Freudian slips like that can come out. I also just have this thing in my brain where, like, sometimes I'll know a color, like, I know this is pink, but my brain will be like, yeah, the orange Patrick. But I think I'm saying pink. I don't know. I don't know if that's like, I don't know what the name part of the brain, I don't know what that's about. But what I do know is that it is really hard to be creative. It is really hard to flow or even feel safe in your body when you are in a state of panic, when your nervous system is literally fried, when you are stuck in a trauma response. It is a lot harder to get things done. And the urgency of life, the expectations that it demands of us, makes being able to actually get still and centered a hell of a lot more challenging, because you feel like you're wasting time. But the thing is that you are not wasting time. It's actually one of the most essential things you can do. And I will say, like, since moving to a place where life is slower, where I have more nature around me, where I actually feel safe, my fucking hair is growing back. I realized the other day, the crushing, stressful, anxiety-inducing weight that I have felt for years is finally lifting. And I forgot what that felt like. And I'm actually, like, dreaming and envisioning again. Like, guys, it got so bad that I literally, it was very much what the vast majority of my life felt like when I was very depressed and anxious and had lots of untreated mental things going on. And the human mind is very good at convincing itself it's fine when it's not. And your nervous system can literally be in a constant state of heightened stress, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm good, this is fine, because you're used to it. But just because you're used to it doesn't mean you're okay, and doesn't mean that you're healthy. So your guides are coming through to really say that your goal, what you're creating, is already happening. And your goal now is to find a way where you can exhale. Carve out time and space for yourself to rest, to find reprieve, to find curiosity and stillness and openness. If you don't feel safe in your body, if you don't feel safe in your space, that's where you need to start. And that might take time. That's why it's important that you're at least 18 if you're watching these videos, because unfortunately, some of you might be in circumstances where you're not able to find that safeness or that stillness. But if you are, literally dealing with trauma or a diagnosis that is a result of trauma, that is something that, you need to look into for yourself and find those solutions for yourself. And also be patient with that process, because that stuff is no joke. And like a lot of those trauma responses are just natural, and they're just designed to protect you. But you don't need them, and they can be changed. But it might take effort, patience, consistency, time, and the willingness to believe that they can. And the willingness to believe that even if you're not fully healed, even if these things still come up, the intensity of them can at least be lessened to a degree that they are not obstacles to you getting to where you want to go and finding and cultivating peace, acceptance, self-respect, and love for yourself in ways that allow you to hold firm boundaries with the outside world and with yourself, that maintain a quality of living that's actually enjoyable, doable, and not stressful and challenging for you. Everybody deserves that. And it might require you taking time out, doing things differently, quieting the noise of the world, whatever it takes to get there. But know that you're not failing at anything. You're stepping into a new level of self, a new level of expansion, a new level of interconnection, and a new level of trust with yourself, where you are becoming a filter to protect yourself, to protect your peace, to protect your nervous system, to protect your mind, and keep things at a frequency, at a vibe, at a level that makes you feel good, and at a level that allows you to be gentle with yourself when you don't feel good. And know that you're already on the path to success. one thing I would challenge you is look at where you think you can't ever change, or you can't ever feel good, you can't ever heal, or you can't ever do something. Maybe you're not able to do it in the way it's been shown to you, but maybe you can do it differently. Maybe you can do it, or even just try it and maybe decide it's not for you. But at the very least, I feel like you are really convinced that you're failing or falling behind, or that you're not going to be able to step up in the ways the universe is asking you to. And the reality is that you're more than ready, and you can. You are built to do this. Your journey has brought you here for a reason. And this is just the next step. This is giving you more wisdom. This is giving you more understanding. This is giving you new ways, new tools, and new solutions to connect with yourself, support yourself, connect with the universe, understand what it's communicating to you differently, and to feel a sense of safety not only in your body, but in your environment and in what you're creating and in the unknown. Because that sense of safety comes from a place of self-trust and a knowingness of, I know how to support and soothe my nervous system when things come up. I know how to be gentle with myself when something is too much. I know how to recognize when I need some sort of support when it's not available to me. And also, I know when I need to say no, and I can accept whatever the response is to that no, because I know it's not about me, and anyone who's upset with me setting boundaries, that's a personal problem. And reactions like that are exactly why you need those boundaries. But also, your experiences are very important to the life that you've had, because they've given you the wisdom you need to not only support others who are on a similar journey but maybe less far along, but also to give you the strength and the wisdom to understand, not that you weren't strong before. It takes strength to be honest with yourself. It takes strength to change. It takes strength to just be present. It takes strength to avoid. Actually, it just takes strength to exist. So you're not strong because of what's happened to you. You're strong despite it. And I don't believe in the idea that we have to suffer, that we have to go through things in order to be strong. I think that that's just the human experience. But there are beautiful parts of it too. And part of what trauma response is, and just an inability to be at peace, observant, present, what that robs you of is the opportunity to experience higher states of life, like bliss, like excitement, like happiness, like reverence, faith. I mean, of course you can still experience those things. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's very easy to forget that feeling is a spectrum, and there are positive feelings too. There are positive experiences too. And it takes time and work sometimes in order to get there, and time to accept them and to allow them into your space if you feel uncomfortable with them. But know that you're getting there, and you have been getting there, and you're not failing, you're not falling behind. And the reason why obstacles keep coming up is to show you that you don't need to keep pushing forward like a runaway train. In fact, you're just meant to slow down and be a peaceful leaf on a flowing river, and let the journey carry you a bit more, and know that you don't need to do, you just need to be. And being will allow you to do differently. This is all part of healing, but more than that, it's part of growth. And it's part of the very badass process of personal empowerment and expansion. And it's not, and I don't want to say it's not easy, because sometimes it can be. I think also what we believe is easy and what we believe is hard also has a factor in it. And it's okay if it's hard or easy. Whatever it is okay. Whatever you find is your experience, that is so valid. But know that, like, you are the biggest determiner of what is possible for you and what isn't. And I think that there are a lot of voices of people outside of you, maybe even people that don't know you, that have determined for you what is possible. You need to read this book. I'm sorry if you can't see, the clouds keep coming in and out. Autobiography of a Yogi by I might spell his name wrong, Paramahansa Yogananda. You need to read this book. This is your homework. I'm not even joking. You need to do this. Excellent book. Incredible human being. Someone that I'm very grateful found me. Like, bro, he came to me in a dream and was like, you need to read this book. And I was like, oh my God, I did need to read this book. You were right. And every time I read it, I learn more and am deeply grateful. And I honestly need to read it again. So I'll read it too. It'll be my homework. That being said, the biggest thing that your guides want you to know is that you're not running out of time. You're not late. You're not failing. You're just doing your best with the knowledge you have and the tools you've had to work with and the circumstances you're experiencing in your body, your mind, and your environment. And now it's time to shift your focus to what factors you can control and what factors you need to create to protect yourself from that which you can't control. What can you do to make your experience the most empowering possible? What can you do to set yourself up for success? And what can you do to make, when you're not successful or when you're not achieving at the level you want to be or you're not where you want to be, how do you be gentle with yourself and accept where you're at? Because it's that acceptance that's going to lead you to the next step. But know that you are in such a powerful position and you're at the hardest part, which is actually learning and integrating and getting started with the new. It will get easier with time. And through building that foundation and also finding tools and also getting aware of what's going on within you that might thwart that. If you do, like, maybe you think you have PTSD and you don't have a diagnosis, maybe that is the first step. I know that not everyone has accessibility to like medical resources and things like that. So if you think you have it but don't have a diagnosis, maybe look for free resources to support yourself. How can you support your nervous system? How can you find free resources? Whatever you can, because there's no reason to judge yourself. You're not damaged. You're not messed up. Your body is designed in these ways to protect you from the traumas of existence. And unfortunately, they can hinder us rather than help us. And that's not your fault. It's literally just a product of biology. It's a product of having a frontal lobe. It's a product of being a human being. It makes you human, and you're not the only one struggling with it. But it might be really isolating and frustrating when you compare yourself to people who don't have that, or you have people that invalidate those experiences. You know, people say like, oh, you know, use certain terminologies flippantly. Like, I have so much PTSD from this experience. And it's like, okay, no, you had a stressful experience you didn't like. You know, recognizing that stuff might be annoying, but don't let it weigh on you. You know, a lot of it, the ignorance of humanity is one that is very hard to accept and that we might often deem malicious, but it usually is ignorant. And the less you can listen to it, pay attention to it, or you know what, even if people say stuff like that, call them out. Like, call them out and say, wow, like, you had this experience from that? Like, tell me more. And then they might go back and be like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. And maybe that would be an opportunity for them to learn. Maybe you shouldn't use certain terms flippantly. I mean, human beings in their ignorance tend to be pretty callous and flippant. And it's oftentimes not meant to be harmful. It's just people not being conscious. And you can be a resource of consciousness for them to help them change and maybe make that impact less painful for someone else or less stressful for someone else. And at the same time, that consciousness in yourself to be able to separate, okay, that's them. I don't need to take it personally. I can teach them if I want to. I can show them a different way, but I can't force them to learn it. And I can't stress myself out trying to change how they experience life and how they use their words. But you can control who you listen to and who you let in your space and who you're willing to talk to. Might be a helpful thing. I was hoping this wouldn't be super, super long, but here we are again. But then again, in a reading that's all about slowing down, no wonder you've gotten such a long reading. And, you know, obviously I don't have all the answers. I'm doing my best to try to give you as many as possible. And also, you know, just urge you to not give up and recognize that, you know, where you're at is not a determination of your worth or a determination of what you're able to do in the future. It's literally just a marker. It's literally just where you're at, and where you can be, sky's the limit there. Where you can be is ultimately determined by how much you're, like, wherever you believe the barriers are and whether or not it is possible to change them. And that's up to you. But what I do know is you're one powerful, badass human being. And you deserve to get in touch with yourself more, because what you'll discover is a lot of what you've been seeking in the outside world. That understanding, that perspective. If you can't find perspectives that you agree with outside of you, that's because maybe you're meant to be sharing them. And maybe you need to cultivate enough safety within yourself to accept the responses to that without feeling unsafe. Maybe you need to learn to connect with yourself in general and actually hear yourself. But know that your path is powerful and there's a deep purpose for it. And life is going to get easier. It may not be easy every day, but the hard days are going to be easier and the easy days are going to feel awesome. And I think that one thing that you are more than deserving of experiencing is how it feels to have positive experiences in general and savor them rather than feel like you don't deserve them or feel ashamed of having them or guilty for having them. You're allowed to have good experiences. You deserve to have good experiences. And it's those good experiences that make the bad ones more doable. You are doing amazing. And know that there is no reality where you're not successful in making the changes you want, but also there's no reality where you fall behind or don't get to where you need to be. You're where you're at for a reason, and the universe really wants you to slow down so that you can speed up in the ways that are actually sustainable and meaningful, rather than in ways that cause you to burn out, force you to try to operate at a level that is unsustainable or exhausting or plainly unhealthy, because you're meant to not only lead from a place of inner conviction and inner inspiration, but also from a place of balance and patience and groundedness that allows for positive progress and a life that is lived sustainably and more peacefully and with more self-belief and more trust. We're gonna get channeled messages, but I need to turn the lights on first because I think the sun's going down, or it's just the clouds. But I've really enjoyed not having to have these lights on because, man, they drain me. Oh, wow. An hour 3. Fun. It's really honestly so impressive for me when I can do a reading in 30 minutes, but I just trust that y'all are here for a reason. And if you were meant to leave at one point or another, you did. But also, I kind of like that my videos are like hanging out, you know, like, I'm not for everyone, but if I'm for you, thank you for being here and thank you for giving me a reason to be myself. So, pile 3's guides. What guidance do you have for pile number 3, please? What do you want them to know? Get out of your own way. You are the reason, the cause, and the solution. Take back your power by remembering who you really are. It's funny, these messages summarize what takes me like an hour to say and immediately. But what would be the fun in that? Your greatest challenges are your biggest blessings. Don't give up. Yes, I fucking told you. You are leveling up. I'm telling you. This is, when you cross this threshold, you are going to be amazed. And like life is going to feel so much easier because it's going to be easier. And you're not going to be running a race. Like rather, you don't have to be the hare anymore because you realize you're the tortoise. And that actually, that feels so much better and is so much more sustainable. What else? Meditate. Take time to just be. Get lost in the moment. A chill you is happy, is patient, creative, and happy. And that's where you're supposed to go. Like you're meant to be chill, patient, creative, and happy. And if you have trauma responses getting in the way of that, or a diagnosis, or a suspicion of a diagnosis, or just dysfunction within you, accept yourself and recognize that, you know, that may not be fixed in a day, or it may not ever be fixed. Whatever happens, whatever occurs is okay. You can adapt and adjust and do what you can to support yourself. But also know that things that you may believe are out of reach, like meditation or sitting in meditation, maybe will just take discomfort the same way doing a plank for 30 seconds is uncomfortable, or just doing planks at all is uncomfortable. But maybe you'll learn to love the burn, learn to love the heat, or learn to love the challenge. I think one of the things that you'll realize when you get safer in yourself is that challenges can be more fun when you feel safe and don't put pressure on yourself to always succeed in those challenges, because failing those challenges teaches you so much too, and just gives you the ability to be a more adaptable person and handle things as they come, rather than feeling like you'll never be able to accept things or achieve certain things. You can and you will, but Spirit wants you to do that from a place that is a lot more gentle, reasonable, powerful. You're going to be so much more powerful when you truly embody this, and life is going to feel a lot better, and you're going to feel a lot less stressed, a lot less uncertain, and a lot less guilty. Okay, one more, Spirit. This came out in pile 1 too. Be confident, shine your light, take up space. You don't need anyone's approval. You deserve to be proud of who you are. Yes, you do. You deserve to be proud of who you are, and you deserve to be proud of how far you've come and how much you've already done and how much you've been able to achieve from a place of panic, from wherever you've been. Just get ready for your mind to be blown with what you can achieve when you're actually in a centered, grounded, patient place. And look what we have on the back of the deck. Patience. Great things take time to manifest quickly. Trust more than you doubt. And that's the thing. Like, the more patient you are and the more you get into this slowness, that's actually going to help you. Also, there's a book called Slow Productivity you might want to look into. I have started reading it, but I'm a bit slow to finishing it. Okay. Charm time. All right, headphone users, this is going to be a little bit loud, so you might want to turn it down. Okay. We're looking at signs. Guides themselves are guide messages. I'm taking in the mini tarot cards, but signs, messages, final guidance. So, pile 3's guides. What messages, signs, guidance do you have for pile 3? Okay. Cool. All right, so we have the white dog, which always makes me think of the Fool, and really makes me happy because I feel like you're already in a new beginning, but you're also entering a new beginning. And also I think that there's a message here to be loyal to your purity. And purity is not some toxic idea related to whether you have had biblical relations or not. Purity, I believe, is rooted in the heart. And I believe that you have a pure heart. You were born with one, and you can always return to that. Sometimes our hearts hurt. Sometimes our hearts feel things that it needs to feel. But even then, like, I believe in the purity of spirit and the purity of heart. And I believe that you have that. And as long as you're loyal to that, you'll never be disappointed in where it leads you. But also, your one guide could come through in the form of a dog. I'm thinking of my friend Hannah, who I love very much. She used to have a dog named Rupert. And I don't know why this dog is making me think of Rupert. Shout out to Rupert. Okay. We also have this charm. my brain is literally like, whew, my brain is starting to fry. But that's okay, because your girl can work with the fried brain. This charm always reminds me of the Six of Cups, because there's 6 little stones and it's kind of an antique. And so one of the things that I'm feeling is that some of your guides are passed on family members. I'm feeling like a grandma specifically for some of you, or just like a matriarchal figure, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. But also with the 6 of Cups being here, there is encouragement to reconnect to your inner child, which, like with this Page of Cups being here, I feel like for some of you, you have. I don't even know how this number 2 got in here, because she's supposed to be in a different bag. But the fact that we have a blue 2, that could be significant. February could be significant. The number 2 could be significant. 2 is a number of balance anyway. You seem to have even numbers here, 6, 2, 8. Anywho, this is really telling me that whenever you feel lost, or whenever you feel like life is too much, or you feel like you're messing up, know that you're never truly lost. It's all about reconnecting to self, and you always will come home to yourself, but you'll come home to yourself in a more transformed way. And even when you come home to yourself, the transformation may still be in process. With that though, I really feel like you just need to know how powerful your journey is, and just how many guides are looking out for you, watching over you. And if there is a family member that is here, passed on, and if going to their house was like a place of stillness or a place of peace, it might be really healing to connect with them in meditation, whether they are still physically present here or not, or go visit them if they're still physically here. That might be really important. That might be a way for you to tune into what it feels like to be still, or what it feels like to be at peace, or what it feels like to be safe. Try to remember, if you don't have that in your current reality, when and where you ever felt that. Or, you know, if you've never had that in the physical world, which breaks my heart, I hope that you at least have. But if you can't remember or haven't, imaginary characters, imaginary places that brought you that, fictional stories, whatever it may be, whatever brought you that sense of safety and security, try to cultivate that in meditation. Go there in meditation. See what wisdom it has for you. And learn to ground the feeling into your present reality. It doesn't have to stay in that world. It can come to this one. Okay. We also have bad bitch club. Yes, you are a bad bitch. And like, listen, you can be soft and protect yourself. I love this little guy so much. Like, this is how, like, when I look in the mirror, like, this is what I see. And I feel like this is perfect. Like, you've earned your membership into this club. And I hope that if you are still here, you comment that you are part of the Bad Biatch Club, or Bad Bitch Club, if you're okay with that. YouTube might flag you if you say bitch, though. So you could say bad B or whatever. Okay. Or you could say I'm one bad chick. Like chick as in chick, not chick as in girl. But you could say chick as in girl. But for all my fellas here, happy to have you here. For all my non-binary, my NB peeps, I don't want to discount you either. Okay, we have a little fortune cookie. Take care of your body. It's the vessel for your soul's journey. That might be, for some of you, one of the most challenging things is connecting to your body. But the beautiful thing is that it's always here taking care of you, and it will always respond to any care and nurturing you give it, more than you realize, actually. And I think that it's really powerful for you to connect with it and realize, like, it is carrying your soul in this lifetime, and it deserves your love and nurturing. It will make your life so much easier. And the first part of that challenge is learning to tune into it, to know what it's even saying. And the next part is learning how to actually give it what it needs. It's kind of like a baby that's crying. It doesn't communicate with words. You have to learn and figure it out. And it might be stressful in the process, and you might feel like you're failing. But it's still working and alive. So there's that. Okay, numbers, we have 25, 27, 17, 11, 55, 36. So you guys have a lot of guides around you. Let's just talk about them. We have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is where you will be if you're not yet. This is a place of abundance, stability, independence, and inner peace. Your abundance is not meant to be dependent on someone else. You are meant to cultivate abundance yourself, and these guides are helping you. We also have the Page of Cups here, so you could have like a spirit baby around you, or a guide in this life. Like if you've had a child, especially if they're a water sign, they could be a powerful guide for you, or maybe they're not your child, but maybe a relative. Not only that though, but this guide could be your own inner child, playful, fun, creative, and if you call to them, they will help you. If you have a child that reminds you of this whimsical, playful, sweet child, like observe them, how they play, how they get excited by things that are normal to you. That stuff alone is healing, but it also reminds you of the magic that's around you that doesn't seem magic because it's just normal. But my goal is to normalize magic because it is all around us, and it's just up to us to see it. It doesn't look like what's in a Harry Potter movie. It looks like, some cute little baby ducks following their mama. It looks like seeing a cool fish you've never seen before in a pond. It looks like allowing the wind to blow through your hair or lack thereof as it flows through the trees, and to be one with that experience. It's about listening to your inner guidance and it leading you to places you never imagined, but making you realize who you always were and where you were always meant to be. It's a lot of stuff, man. We also have the Empress. So definitely, I feel like any divine feminine goddesses, I do feel like could be guiding you that you feel called to, but also mothers. I feel like your mother, like whether they are here or they're in the spirit realm or someone that is like a mother, could be guiding you. And could be really trying to help you. But also this Empress card is a greater archetype that I feel like is just helping you slow down and be a part of nature. Like the Empress is everything that I was describing. Like she follows the flows of natural cycles. She does not need to go and take action because she attracts what she needs. She is creative. She is fertile. She is abundant. And she doesn't have to go out and make things happen. She just knows that she is. She knows her worth. She knows that what she needs will be brought to her. And she doesn't need things in excess. She's in balance with her environment. And she works with it rather than takes from it. She's in a sustainable way of life. And guess what? She's unbothered and relaxed. And that's where you're meant to be. All of you are meant to find your own Empress energy. So this could even be higher self energy as well. But we also have the Six of Pentacles. So know that help is on its way. Like if you need resources, if you need support, if you need like financial resources in order to relax, like don't be afraid to ask for help, number one. And number two, if you have been putting a lot of effort in hopes that it will yield some financial support or just support that you need, I feel like you will be getting that. But also don't give more than you're able to. If you're someone who's very generous naturally, make sure you're checking that with what you need. Don't give out of obligation. Give from your heart because you already have so much. Make sure that's balanced. But also I feel like your guides are going to be giving you more help and more opportunities to find quiet, to find stillness. You have so many Pentacle cards and so many Earth cards here. Life is meant to be more natural, more beautiful. And it's not because you're changing what you look like or changing anything other than your perception. Like you're changing your perception, you're changing your understanding of what beauty is, and you're finding beauty in the things that maybe you always saw but never saw it in there before. You're slowing down and seeing beauty you never noticed. Not only that, but like I said, life's not truly going to be slowing down for you. It's going to be speeding up, and action is going to be a lot more natural because you're acting from a place of inner peace and trust and love and creativity and fulfillment and excitement and expansion rather than panic, obligation, stress, uncertainty, ambition with nothing to ground it, ambition at the expense of your well-being. That's not how you're meant to live. There's a lot of feminine guides around you especially, and I feel like the masculine, like, because I know we had like a feminine and masculine guide that came through originally. I feel like they are here to help you. Like the masculine guide is more protective in nature to allow your feminine energies to arise more. And I don't mean these in gendered aspects. People take this and project it onto gender expectations. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like yin and yang energies. And those are things that are, you know, qualities and essences that everyone has. Yang is more action taking. Yin is more receptive, subtle, intuitive. Whereas yang is more conscious, logic. It's think the sun and the moon. They're two very different things, but they both need each other and they both work together. Can't have one without the other. We also have this is another 8 as well. So 888 is really profound for you. And also like the stability you're looking for. Well, like even if you had more than like, you could have tons of money already and you still feel unstable. You could have not enough money and you feel unstable. The latter is a little bit more understandable, but the former is the position that a lot of people are in and feel guilt about that or feel like they need even more. Because the truth is that the stability they're looking for is not outside of them, it's within them. And no amount of financial resources or financial abundance or material abundance will give them the sense of security that they are truly looking for. That sense of security is inward, and it's the whole damn point of this reading. You are creating the frame to set the stone. Like, the stone cannot be showed off if there is no ring, frame supporting it. So also Lord of the Rings could be significant. There could be powerful messages there for you. Just know that you're a powerful force. And things in life that you might feel are finite, that you might feel are ruined, I feel like this is a sign that nothing is truly set in stone. And things can always change. Things can always be different. You can always evolve in ways you never imagined. You can always grow in ways you never anticipated. And there used to be amber in this. So amber, the name could be significant, or amber, the stone could be significant. Take that how it resonates. And finally, if I can open this, begin. The rest is easy. Like I said, the hardest part is getting started. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to succeed. You just have to try and try and try again. That will get you further than any panic or force ever will. And that's the thing. The Empress, she doesn't force things. She allows. She accepts. She loves. And the numbers here are 52, 13, 55, 26, 5, 56. Whoo! Pile 3. This was a ride, and I'm really happy I got to be on it with you. Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening to me, and for being patient with my ability to get this out. Thank you for being patient with my mistakes, and as I corrected them. Thank you for being gentle with me, and thank you for understanding my shortcomings and understanding where my ability to help ends and where your ability to find help begins. Thank you for being here, supporting me, loving me, and letting me love you. I love you guys so much, and I really, really hope that this reading helped you. Thank you so much for letting the ads play in the background. I know they're really annoying, but that's what allows me to do this for free and give you quality stuff. And free for you, of course. Not free for me, because I exist in a capitalist society and have bills to pay. So thank you for letting me do that and helping me do something that is mutually aligned and a win-win outcome. Thank you for not actually watching the ads and doing something else in the meantime, like maybe putting your computer on mute and practicing a minute of stillness, perhaps. Mayhaps. But other ways to support me, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear like what tools have helped you. I'm also just trying to be more responsive in general, because I just really appreciate you guys being here. And I love talking to you guys, and I've let fear get in the way for way too long. And like, I just want to give back so much of the love that you guys give to me. So thank you so much for, if I have not ever been able to respond to you, don't stop, because I will one day. I promise. I will get to you. I will get to you. But it is more likely that I will respond if you comment when I first upload, so you may want to have notifications on. Even if you're not able to watch the video, even just coming to say hi, I'm more likely to see it and say hi back. I am still an introvert, so there is a limit to how much socialization I can do before I have to go into my hermit hole. So other ways to support, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know if I said that already. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Click the little notification bell. If you want to be notified when I upload readings, you can check out my merch, my social media, my candles, other readings, especially ones with extendeds. You can share this with your friends, with your buddies, with your pals. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you and being patient with me as I got this message out. Spoiler alert, you're going to be doing a lot more of that. So thank you so much for letting me read for you. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much to your guides for letting me be a conduit for them. I really hope this reading helped and brought you peace and clarity. I hope you will have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!